Hello, good morning. Everything toggling back in here. Okay, we got the game. Mic's working. I'm not muted. I think we're good.
What a pity. No one would live in a dream forever.
We're back at it again. So, as I mentioned in my announcement for today's stream, I did stumble upon like a really big Reddit post that breaks down it breaks down some of the historical and literary references within the arc. So if we happen to finish early, I think I would like to go over that. Obviously I didn't read it because we're not finished yet, but I think it'd be nice. Sometimes I go through an arc that's got lore and shit in it, and I just don't get it. It just doesn't click for me, and I know I missed something. So sometimes after I finish something, I like going to video essays or reading reviews and breakdowns just to see if I missed anything and what I missed. And then typically people who are much smarter than me and better at literary analysis are like, this happened, X, Y, Z, did you notice this? And I'm like, no! I didn't! So hopefully we have some extra time today that we can go over that. I do not have a cold, no. Does the Foundation ever actually require employees to clock in? You ever heard of Foucault, Soneto? Yes, he's a renowned French philosopher and social theorist. I read books and his theories about at the SPDM. So those are precisely the kind of books they'd never confiscate. Sorry, I don't understand. Never mind that. Could you explain what you read in detail? Foucault argued that madness...
You and I have a contract.
Appreciate it. 17
5
months.
to Bob.
Thank you for the support. Foucault argued that madness isn't a natural phenomenon, but rather a cultural construct. In early times, punishment was a public spectacle, a display of power for the rulers. Nowadays, things are different. After the Enlightenment, punishment became a form of public education, intended primarily to deter crime. That's true, the phrase public execution has all but disappeared from everyday language. Discipline and punishment, by that logic, the SPDM aligns closely with Foucault's ideals. But Deleuze believed that another model of power had replaced disciplinary power, the power of administration, a highly efficient yet indifferent system of management. The system holds control over the environment, and under such circumstances, the individual's inner self ceases to matter. Timekeeper, is this discussion because of what the physician said? That's right, initially I just wanted to hear your perspective on this. Now I'm starting to see how this model reduces people to little more than animals. Right, Timekeeper. When he pulls out the ice pick, don't be afraid. Panic is proof that you're still lucid, for now. 1935, Professor Antonio from Portugal became intrigued by a medical study documenting how gorillas became docile after the removal of their frontal lobes. Inspired by this, he successfully performed the world's first human frontal lobotomy, known as leucotomy. The surgery was remarkably successful, paving the way for significant breakthroughs in research. In 1949, Professor Antonio was awarded the Nobel Prize in Medicine for his work. Through continuous practice and refinement, he and others eventually improved and perfected the procedure, even developing a specialized leucotome. However, the surgical technique required a high level of expertise, and as a result, it was never widely adopted. In 1945, American doctor Walter Friedman modified the procedure, which became infamously known as the ice pick lobotomy. The technique involved rendering patients unconscious with electroshock or anesthesia, and then hammering a steel pick roughly the thickness of a chopstick through the upper part of the eye socket into the brain. The pick was then manually rotated to destroy the frontal lobe. In 1950, following strong recommendations from psychiatric pathologist Vasily Gayanovsky, the Soviet government became the first to announce a complete ban on frontal lobotomies. Over the next 2 decades, most countries, including the United States, followed suit and passed laws prohibiting the procedure. Jesus. Missing any others? Okay, yeah, I keep coming back to this. Maybe there's a glitch and it doesn't, like, show up. They cover their eyes, they descend into madness. Speaking man of dictate, greasy-haired musician smearing tiles like a drunk Edward Goya, frequently crumbling their poetry. Even I've never seen such a scene myself, I can still grasp their attitude towards Manus Vindicte, an oppression surpassing even their past sufferings. Subconsciously, they ignored the similarity, perhaps out of denial, or perhaps because his prison already taught them to obey, also subconsciously. Manus Vindictae did bring their terror here. Those masks drove Arcanus to insanity and caused unbearable suffering, as if they were caught in an inescapable snare. Lost the ability to utter a single phrase of their own language, reduced to slaves of this underground faction, left only with the singular thought, their souls having left the empty husk of their former selves. For humans, they were driven to death en masse. At night, they were not allowed prolonged sleep, woken by their companions every hour to sit beneath the watchtower and chant prayers, and by dawn, high-intensity training interrogations that did not require or expect any answers would begin again. The purpose of Manus Vindictae is buried beneath these cruel methods, as clear as the deepest crevasse in the ice field. It is nothing but destruction. They seek to completely destroy humanity. So did they do this? Okay, so who did they do this to? Like, the current people that we're talking to now? I'm a little confused as to who this is referring to. Because, like the people in this asylum are, like, something's wrong, but they're not, like, this bad off. I'm missing something there. Oh, wait, I didn't say hi to everybody. Hello, Saul, Plaxius Pie, Loft, Caffeinated Blacksmith. Hell of a thing to read at 4:23 a.m. on a Monday. I'm so sorry. Between two mirrors hangs a single object. I forgot to read that. I'm sorry.
Where did the physician go? Wait.
Oh, right. So, last we left off, reality shifted into that kaleidoscopic, mindscape as we saw, and, things restructured themselves. And he's disappeared, I guess. The physician.
Sir? Are you?
Replaced by this guy, who is similar, but not the physician. No one notices when the unfamiliar prisoner appears. He seems calm and almost ordinary, like an unchanging mirror that has stood here all along, in this room, in this labyrinth, passed unseen by everyone. The answer she now sees plainly makes her step back in a panic. But in the end, she says the name out loud. Its sound is heavy, cold, and leaves her at a loss.
Aleph, it's you. My pen pal. You are, in fact, Nkomala. All those letters, all the ideas we shared, they weren't just my imagination or some prank. Vertin, Soneto, it's all just as I told you. They weren't meaningless. They're all real.
Yet why does she feel no joy?
So, sir, are you Aleph, the ruler of this prison? Are you the one controlling the Panopticon with the die? The one hiding Miss Dores's whereabouts?
What curious inquiries. Quite different from the last 2,666 questions I've received. My guests, you may call me Aleph, or by any other name, be it a symbol of God's oneness or a farcical epithet. I am merely one of the many prisoners who voluntarily reside here. A single letter in the alphabet of the Panopticon.
A letter? The way you speak is quite different from Dr. Merlin. Still, I wonder what your relationship is with him.
Under the dim lighting, the man looks drained of all energy.
But allow me to make a guess. You're Dr. Merlin, aren't you?
I'm afraid that's not entirely accurate. But you may think of it that way. Merlin is a figment born of my mind, an incomplete reenactment. He is me, yes, but not entirely.
So is he... what's the correct term? Is he, plural? Is that the correct term for it? Plurality?
He, or rather they, failed to find their answers. They fought against their predestined fates, only to be inevitably crushed under their weight. I simply stood by and watched it all unfold. That was the extent of our relationship.
They?
Hi, McCullough, and Sideways.
You've already met Merlin
Baka.
and the Idealist, even witnessed their demise. Shackled by the delusions of verses, the Idealist lost his own name.
Okay.
Merlin, too, imprisoned himself within the system of the Panopticon. I'm sure their desperate pursuits caused you some trouble. Please forgive them. After all, your fleeting encounters led to the demise of them both.
I think I understand now. The Idealist and the Physician are both parts of you. Or, to put it another way, they're your alter egos.
It seems the jailer's diagnosis that the whole prison is mad has been shown to be more accurate than anyone could have imagined.
The Physician mentioned Manus Vindictae. What's the relationship between this prison and the Manus?
Visitors from the Foundation. We all witnessed those eras perish.
Hey, Netbeam, just got here. I know nothing about this game, but these seem like swell fellas. I trust them implicitly, as you should. We all witnessed those eras perish.
In 1977, not long before the fourth storm, I arrived in Ushuaia. Shortly after, some members of the National Foucault Studies Association reached out to me.
Hey, Thasia. 1977. Isn't that the date that Garcia mentioned? That movement in Latin America died. That literary movement, or am I tripping? Did he say? What was it? The Oh fuck! What is it called? The realist idealist? No. This I can't remember what the movement was called, but he said it died in 1977, so I wonder if this coincides with this somehow.
But it wasn't just them. An arcanist organization called Manus Vindictae also approached me. Each of them wanted answers. They named me their advisor.
You acted as an advisor to the Manus?
The two parties presented me with a concept and a parable, respectively.
A concept and a parable?
The Foucault Association sought to explore the feasibility of the Panopticon concept here, while Manus Vindictae showed me a parable of the past and future. Day and night, I wandered through endless texts, endless realities, as I searched for answers. And thus, Merlin was born. He was both an experiment and a price I paid.
Oh, endless reality. Does he mean that literally?
A new concept, a new direction. Pursuing such things always leaves me confined by the limitations of human knowledge. Merlin spent his entire life exploring Foucault's theories in pursuit of that singular yet infinite answer.
What about the Manus, Mr. Aleph? You didn't explain why you helped them.
Explain why? Because they asked me to, just as you have. I simply worked to answer their questions.
So you're saying that, to you, we are no different from Manus Vindictae? And if we ask, you'll answer us, without holding anything back?
Is that not precisely what is happening this very moment?
Aleph picks up the fallen die. It flickers with a familiar, comforting glow.
This is what the Manus gave Merlin. A magical die named the Tear of Kamala.
Okay, so the Tear of Kamala and the Die of Babylon are the same thing. Tear of Kamala is glitching out. So, like, I'm curious as to why, if this is one of the, what is it, the five or six artifacts that they're seeking? I'm wondering what they were hoping to accomplish by giving this one to him.
It was once a gemstone that belonged to a god. At the beginning of the century, explorers plucked it from an ancient gate they discovered in Antarctica. To the explorers' amazement, the gemstone could turn human desires into reality.
Holy shit! Maruki mentioned again? I could never escape him, can I?
So they cut it into a die, a symbol of fate, and used it to build a sanatorium, which was later transformed into the Panopticon you are standing in right now.
His words are direct, yet they still leave the outsiders perplexed.
Then, Aleph, you really are the mastermind behind the Panopticon?
The silent girl grips her notebook, her knuckles turn white from the pressure. The draft of an unpublished novel, with words that only she knows, the countless hours spent at her desk, the self-reflections, the meticulous questioning, revisions, and scrutiny of every word. That book holds the life of its writer.
You said Merlin used the Panopticon to seek his answer. What does that have to do with my novel?
Right, because elements of her novel and things that she wrote came up in the Panopticon, like line for line. So she was under the belief that he was using her ideas, but I think somehow being in the Panopticon and in this kind of like liminal space, this liminal transitory space here, she was like manifesting her own writing, is what I think was happening. But,
I don't get it, Aleph. Why would you use my novel to manipulate this place?
Unless I'm totally wrong.
Roberta, Garcia, Octavia, Pablo, the jailer, everyone. Not one of them deserved to be trapped in a deadly loop in which everyone's fate is already predestined. They're just like the ghosts in Amalfitano, inescapably trapped within the ruins. Tell me, what is it you really want?
Hearing this, the lonely prisoner fidgets with the die, looking puzzled.
It's not about what I want. It's about what you want.
Mm-hmm.
The third line of your first letter. You said you wanted to give the rise and fall of sanity an ending.
See, okay, alright, go. Oh wait, shit, there's more. The greatest arcane skills demand thorough preparation. Every list is the crystallization of countless insights. Regarding the blurred by water scenes ritual, large number of arcanists, easily achievable goal, young people capable of lifting bricks and setting sail. Devotion remains the best catalyst. Okay. Oh, Roar Lion's Tail, Sacred Scarab Rings, Nukuteo, Shell. Oh god, that's why they went. It was for the shells specifically. When combined with the Fountain of Immortality, it seems likely that Manus Vindictae aims to achieve something extraordinary. Given the shell's properties, it can withstand an immense amount of energy, ensuring the ritual's success. This is indeed an incantation requiring considerable and meticulous preparation. The location, blurred by water stains, remains an excellent choice. For the ritual itself, timing is of paramount importance. The time referred to here is not our traditional understanding, but time itself. They're trying to bring Arcana back. They're 100% trying to get Arcana back, right? Like, that's what this is. She got fucking atomized by a fucking nuclear bomb, and, like, they're trying to bring her ass back. A serpent brings an apple, but I already possess the wisdom. Dear Mr. Aleph, the National Foucault Studies Association extends a formal invitation for you to join our organization. Our mission is to guide society and the world toward a more structured and enlightened future. We believe your exceptional abilities will be instrumental in achieving this vision. We eagerly await your response. Sincerely, Jose Tartuffe, Kamala Prison, Ushuaia. Oh yeah, Tartuffe was the old warden that took his leave, remember? Before all this shit went down. Oh wait, I didn't read this part. Between two mirrors hangs a single object, one face, two faces, cascading into the infinite. Aleph, the mournful, the grotesque, the sum of self and self.
Los registros históricos
Historical
del Dado
records
de
of the Die of
Babilonia
Babylon can still
aún
be
se
found in
pueden
the
encontrar
library of
en la
Santa Teresa
biblioteca de la
University.
Universidad Santa Teresa. No. Una apertura
An
como
opening like this
esta
would make the story too
haría la
ambiguous.
historia demasiado ambigua. En
In
1975,
1975, in the town
en
of
el pueblo de Amalfitano,
Sonora,
Sonora,
Mexico,
México,
something terrible
ocurrió
and eerie
algo
took place in
terrible
the
y
cottage with the
escalofriante
blue roof.
en la
It all
cabaña
began
con el
with the
techo azul.
peculiar customs of the
Todo
local...
comenzó con las costumbres peculiares de los Espera,
Wait, how did I learn about all
¿cómo
this?
supe todo
I need to add a
esto?
role for the narrator, the storyteller.
Necesito agregar un rol para el narrador. El cuentacuentos. Un poeta surrealista de
A
México
surrealist poet
me
from
contó
Mexico
esta
told me the
historia.
story. An old
Una
woman
anciana
walked into the
entró en
bar
el
she
bar,
frequented in town.
al que
At the
solía
same
ir en el
moment,
pueblo. Al mismo tiempo,
El empleado del banco
the bank
también
clerk entered the bar
entró
too,
al
and
bar
he news that a
trayendo
multinational
la
corporation was
noticia
going to
de
build
que
a
una
cookie soda factory
corporación
in Amalfitano.
multinacional iba a construir una fábrica de jabón de galletas en Amalfitano.
espera,
Wait, bank
empleado
clerk?
del banco.
I didn't know there were banks in
No
Amalfitano.
sabía que había bancos en Amalfitano. Pero sí,
But it does make
tiene
sense.
sentido.
Commercial banks are no doubt
Los
a
bancos
hallmark of
comerciales
capitalism.
son,
Thanks,
sin
pen pal.
duda, un sello del capitalismo. Gracias, amigo por correspondencia. Antes de
Before
convertirse
he
en
became a
empleado
bank
del
clerk,
banco,
he was an advocate
era
of
un
the town's
defensor
ancient
de las
customs.
antiguas costumbres del pueblo. Era un
He
pescador
was
de
a
dunas.
dune pescator.
Después de aceptar el destino
After accepting
otorgado
the fate
por el
bestowed
dado
by the
de
die of
Babilonia,
Babylon, he chose
eligió
to leave
dejar
everything
todo
behind. The
atrás,
sad, horrified
el
village,
triste
and the
y
cycles hidden
aterrador
within
pueblo
infinite
y
randomness.
los ciclos ocultos dentro de la infinita aleatoriedad.
Oh, qué
Oh, how ironic.
irónico.
But it's still a
Pero
realistic
también
too.
es
And we just need a
realista.
contrasting character, a
Ahora
believer in
solo
fate.
necesitamos un personaje contrastante. Un creyente en el destino. Una anciana tejedora
An
se
elderly
sentó
weaver
en su
sat in her
antiguo
ancient
taller,
workshop,
girando
tirelessly spinning her wheel,
incansablemente
a
su
precious
rueca,
gift bestowed to her by
un
the die of
regalo
Babylon.
precioso, otorgado por el dado de Babilonia.
La tejedora ciega
blind
relató
weaver softly
suavemente
recounted
todo
all she
lo
had
que había
experienced.
vivido.
¡Qué idea brillante,
A
Aleph!
brilliant idea, Aleph.
Una
A blind
tejedora
weaver
ciega
couldn't
no
possibly
podría
witness
haber
the murder.
presenciado el asesinato. ¡Fantástico! En ese
In that
caso,
case, I'll add a
agregaré a un
donkey driver who
conductor de
gets murdered
burros
in
que
this
es
chapter.
asesinado en este capítulo. Con cada una de tus
With each of your
sugerencias, la
suggestions, the
historia da
story
un
takes a
paso
step
adelante.
forward. Thanks, Aleph.
Gracias, Aleph. Pero
But I still can't see
todavía
any
no
sign
veo
of the ending.
ninguna señal del final. Es como si
It's like no
no
matter how many new
importara
characters we
cuántos
add, there's
personajes
still
nuevos
something missing in the
agreguemos.
desert town. It lacks a
Todavía
key figure.
falta algo en el pueblo desértico. Aleph, ¿qué
Aleph,
debo
what should I
hacer?
do? How do I give the story
¿Cómo
an
le
ending?
doy un final a esta historia?
Tú misma me preguntaste,
You asked me yourself.
¿cómo le doy
How
un
do I give the
final
story
a
an
esta historia? Me describiste
You
cómo
described to me
tus
how your words
palabras
had
se
transformed
habían
into an
transformado
immoderate,
en un
infinite puzzle,
rompecabezas
unrecognizable
desmesurado
language, a collection
infinito,
of ambiguous
un
information,
lenguaje
and a parable that had
irreconocible,
lost all meaning.
una colección de información ambigua y una parábola que había perdido todo su significado. La ausencia de
The
un
absence of an
final
ending
aún
still
te
nauseating,
roe,
forever trapping you in that
atrapándote
scorching
para
town.
siempre en ese abrasador pueblo desértico. Todo lo que estoy
All I'm doing is
haciendo
trying to find
es
it for you.
intentar encontrarlo para ti.
¿Estás diciendo que has
Are you
estado
saying you've been
manipulando los
manipulating the
acontecimientos
happenings
en el
the panopticon like
panóptico
this ever since we first
desde que
exchanged letters last
intercambiamos
September?
cartas por primera vez septiembre pasado?
She struggles, vainly hoping for him to deny it.
Sí,
Yes,
cada vez que
every time you
revisabas
revise
la
the
novela,
novel, corresponding
se
adjustments
hacían
were made in the
ajustes
panopticon,
correspondientes en el
reflecting the
panóptico,
intricacies of every
reflejar
detail, as each
fielmente
ensured the story
las
proceeds
complejidades de cada detalle era clave para asegurar que la historia avanzara sin problemas. Estos ajustes los
Such adjustments
manejaba
were handled by
principalmente
mostly,
Merlin,
sometimes
a
the
veces
idealist,
el
and
idealista,
before them,
y
Zahir
antes de
and
ellos,
Paracelsus.
Zahir y Paracelso.
Cada vez
Every time.
6 versiones de la historia del Amalfitano ya se han desarrollado en el panóptico.
eso
Does
significa
that mean the
la
frog
rana
crushed in the mud,
aplastada en el
the cow
barro,
dying of old age, the
la
dormouse
vaca
falling into
muriendo
the
de
sea,
vieja, el fantasma
the
asesinado
ghost
en el
killed in the
duelo
duel, and the sudden changes to the
y
die of Babylon?
los cambios repentinos al dado de Babilonia? Todas las revisiones
All
que
the revisions you
sugeriste,
suggested, all the
todas
deaths,
las
chaos, and
muertes,
madness,
el
they
caos
all
y la
actually
locura,
happened right here?
¿realmente sucedieron aquí mismo?
The ever-knowing prisoner falls into a long, dark silence. He will not answer a question when the one asking already knows the answer.
Incluso la eternidad tiene sus
eternity has its
límites,
limits,
Recoleta. In the 6th revision, we added The Blind Weaver, an extraordinary figure.
Oh, so is that why Doris was here?
Just like the paracausality researcher who carries a suitcase that you introduced in your 7th letter.
How did I not realize we were the paracausality researcher? That seems so fucking obvious in hindsight now.
The paracausality researcher carrying a suitcase. Miss Recoleta, is this character really based on the Timekeeper?
What? Of course not. The paracausality researcher is an entirely different character.
Don't you understand? We're only one die roll away from the ending.
Aleph lifts the core of the infinite labyrinth. The tear of Kamala swirls slowly in his hand.
I don't. What on earth are you trying to do?
The filament lamps of the operating room dim in time with his motions. The walls ripple like water, then transform into countless mirrors. Within the mirrors, an endless stream of information appears. A seemingly possessed telephone babbles, an old radio sings, a flickering slide projector whirs and cracks, a muted film projector spins, a timetable opens, and dictionaries of countless languages flow past. A room without an exit, an eternal predicament, a prisoner's dwelling.
Recoleta, it is the cycle of fate that has brought you to the panopticon of Komala in Ushuaia. Now, return to the rise and fall of sanity. Return, and become a character once more. You've been searching for its ending, but how could you possibly find it when you're no longer inside the story?
Wait.
I believe that this time, you will witness the grand finale with your own 2 eyes. No more sadness. No more loneliness. The answer you've long sought lies in the inevitable final roll of the die.
So, the jailer is the bank clerk, and Erd is the blind weaver. But what about Roberta, Garcia, and Octavia? They weren't even assigned roles. They were just playthings, helpless in the face of fate. What right do you or I have to decide what happens to them? To dictate their gains and losses?
But wait, how did Verton get added before Recoleta knew them, or even Aleph likely knew them? I think it's... This is just my interpretation, because again, this is very abstract. So my interpretation is that I think it's trying to say that fate is a predestined thing, if that makes sense. So Verton was always going to come into her life at this moment, because this entire story so far, because this is a main story chapter, the entire story so far would have brought Verton to this moment anyway, and she's drawing from reality without realizing it, because she didn't create Verton. She didn't, like, you know, we don't exist because of her. We exist completely independently of her. But I don't know if she can see into the future or if she's tied to fate itself, but things that she wrote, like, it was almost a prophecy, almost. And she had these ideas, and she was working with them by writing back and forth to Aleph. And Aleph was, I guess, running the Panopticon like a simulation, where he would, in order to help answer her question, because he seems to only exist to answer questions. He seems completely impartial, right? Because he treated Manus Vindictae and the Foucault Association the exact same way he's treating us, and that we ask him a question and he finds the answer to it. Like, he doesn't seem to have any moral compass, he doesn't seem to have any larger purpose, he's there to answer questions that are presented to him. So when Recoleta wrote him letters asking how she should continue the story, he plugged in, it seems like, all of her desires and her manuscript into the Panopticon and used the die in order to help see how that scenario would play out, and then wrote back to her with the answers. So, like, I know we were joking about it, about, like, ChatGPT, but it kind of works the same way a little bit. Like, if ChatGPT was actually, like, smart and not an LLM, you plug in a question and then he runs a bunch of simulations to see what would happen in those circumstances, and then gives her back her answer. And then she takes that and incorporates it into her story, which then solidifies it as reality? This is a bit too high concept for my brain, but yeah. We're back at the lake again. I mean, kind of. I mean, I thought it was more of a, like I said like 10 minutes ago, I thought it was more of a she's writing things and they're coming into fruition because of the space itself, but that doesn't seem to be the case. She seems to be more thoroughly tied up within the story and within fate itself than I thought. Because Aleph did mention her returning to her story as a character. So is she like a manifestation of her own story? Is that where her power comes from? Like, is she like an awakened? Did she like realize herself out of the story that she hasn't finished? And it's not finished because she escaped and hasn't seen the ending yet? I'm not sure. Hopefully Verton can summarize it for us at the end.
But they couldn't possibly understand such a thing, could they? To you, it's just a story. But to them, it is the manifestation of bittersweet destiny.
Do you think hiding behind the guise of fiction absolves you from the reality that you've turned the Panopticon into a living hell? Yes. You're the only one who truly understands the rise and fall of sanity. Goodness knows how many manuscripts I sent out that never received a reply. I was so grateful to you. For your replies, for understanding my novel. Those things were more precious to me than any sunrise over the Andes. Had I known that your feedback was created in such a way, and at such a cost, I would have preferred not to receive it at all. Don't you get it? Even if they don't understand my novel, the people I meet are still my friends. Whether we took a long journey together, or we simply chatted for a few hours, we formed an inseparable, miraculous bond. They're a part of me. How could you treat them like fictional characters? It's disrespectful to my work, and to life itself.
The writer's resistance is so sharp that it cuts through Aleph's carefully constructed labyrinth easily.
But you raised the question yourself. Why do you resist receiving its answer?
He lowers his head, and for the first time, cracks appear on that indestructible mask.
They're always like this, aren't they? They throw a question at you, only to abandon it along with the fading of the era. This storm will spare no one. You've known it all along, Aleph. Only the timeless Panopticon can maintain control. The all-seeing tower. The perfect governing system. What a hopeless fool you are, Merlin. Haven't you heard what they say? There is no need to build a labyrinth when the whole world already is one. Your meaningless questions will be swept away by the tides of time, only to resurface on the shores of our minds once more. We've seen it happen, over and over again. Surely you've realized by now that the only true meaning can be found in literature. For over a century, literature has remained the singular, ultimate answer. This lonely cowboy is simply feeling lost at the moment. Spare us your ramblings, idealist. You're wasting our time.
Enough.
The dye that reflects the heart can no longer bear its weight, as it glows from within burning fissures. On the surrounding mirrors, countless reflections of Aleph appear, each wearing a different face. They crowd into the room as a flood of ghosts.
Aleph seems to be in a terrible state.
We have to be careful. Something isn't right about that die.
Her writing somehow does manifest. Her little story goes over a little bit of her power, but I haven't analyzed it past episode 3. Okay, cool. So like she does have some kind of power of writing to reality sort of thing. I'm not sure how to describe it, but like the feeling that I get is outside of the panopticon, it's kind of like if you were to write, you know, if you had her power and you wrote a doctor came into town today, some doctor who actually does exist will end up in your town just by complete happenstance sort of thing. So like I'm not sure if it's predictive or if it's creative, if that makes sense, you know? I'm not sure if it's writing to reality or just to the mind of the reader. True, yep. Insight 3 level 1. Oh god. Okay, alright. I'm assuming it's probably single target. It's probably single target. Good old follow-up attack team. Actually, we might actually be healing here. Let's do fucking let's do this. I really need to fucking get back to studying the meta and how characters work. I pull characters and then don't learn how to use them. Oh right, I need her.
Oh, I got it now.
Go ahead. Keep the story going.
Hello? He looks cool as fuck.
Carry it through until we finally feel the sweet gratification of the ending.
Your endeavors are doomed to fail. There's only madness in literature and art, not transcendentality.
Alice, Ghost of Transcendentality. I'm gonna look up Transcendentality real quick. Hang on. Okay, well, yes, obviously it means the state of being... Okay, let me just type in reverse 1999. Because Apiron was about this too. Fuck, unfortunately it's not popular enough to actually have any fucking results. Is it just like ascending past the need for protection from the storm? Or is it like transcending past the need for a human form at all? I keep forgetting. Okay, let's read this one. Ego idealist status. Oh, they're both the ego. So the idealist and the physician are both the ego, it looks like. Interesting. Because I had this theory that they were separated to ego, superego, and id. And I thought, fuck, I can't remember which way I had it around. Anyway. Post that our understanding of the worlds is shaped by the inherent structures of our minds rather than being a direct reflection of an external reality that exists independent of us. Posits that our understanding of the world is shaped by... Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah, I can see that. I think you're right. In that, that's what it's trying to portray. Alright. The status, stereo on the target. Damage taken direction, damage heal is found more stacks and worth the days for one round. Okay. When an ego position to apply one continuous action, one stack of sterile over the same or therapeutic maxes 2 times one of the damage stackable. Target on the ego position status. Desire for transcendentality when entering the ego the idealist status grants 2 stacks of stereo to self. Bring use of desire to self. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, so he applies the same stuff to himself when he's in the other form. That's what you mean by transcendentality. Okay, posits that our understanding of the world is shaped by the inherent structures of our minds, rather than being a direct reflection of external reality. Manuel Kant is apparently a major pioneer of transcendental idealism. Okay, thank you. Sorry. I didn't make that connection there. We have to hit it really hard. Consume all in order to cast an ultimate, then recover the consumed Moxie. This ultimate does not count as an extra action. Recover Moxie can exceed the Moxie required to cast the ultimate. I mean, I think we're gonna use that so that then we'll probably... Because, like, her thing is trying to...
Más allá del concepto mundano del tiempo, en todos los momentos.
Is to move as much as possible, right?
Oh look, here's another one.
Actually, I do.
This card should...
Más allá del concepto mundano del tiempo.
Actually, okay, hang on. What if I...
Oh look, here's another one. This card should do.
En todos los más allá del concepto mundano del
We
tiempo.
stand together. Oh, be careful.
I got buffed, didn't we?
We'll find our home one day.
Oh, right, because she would have had the highest Moxie at the time of casting. I get it now.
Cosmología, filosofía clásica. Do I have to do this?
You are not welcome here. Stay away from me. What I'm good at. Just another shift.
En todos los momentos. Camino a Tlón.
These sheets are my wings. Up and at it.
Idealismo, vuelos de fantasía, patrones ocultos. En la acumulación de laberintos, suéltalo todo una vez más.
Bro, I don't think this guy's good, bro. This music fucks, by the way. Oh, wait. Can use incantations from both when trying to fix him. I can fix him! True.
You want me to? Yes, I got this. You want me to?
A good point.
Higher than a bell tower, and deep in the clouds. We'll find our home one day.
No other study could show you this.
Don't
Touch the device.
Yo! Sorry, he looks so cool.
An academic question.
Más allá del concepto mundano del tiempo. En todos los...
A good point.
This card should do.
An academic question. A good point.
Los enredos de la vida.
You are not welcome here.
Limited scale, infinite lines. Behold.
Help me!
These explorations, these fractures, they're all failures, aren't they? In this infinite expanse, I feel nothing but infinite sorrow.
He did nothing wrong. The chaotic battle comes to an abrupt halt.
Wait! Mr. Olive? Are you human?
That's actually a good question. Sonetto steps back, lowering her glass fetter. She is shocked to realize that her opponent has no arcane skills at all. From beginning to end, all he had was... He's a human?! Oh, that's fucked. Hang on. Hang on, he's not even an arcanist?
Please hand over the die peacefully.
Mr. Aleph, please stop resisting. It's futile.
Futile. Yes, it's all futile. The cage of rules, the ideals of literature, both are futile. Mere illusions conjured along the path to transcendentality. They all fear that they're nothing more than phantoms in someone else's dream. That reality will devour everything, including their very existence. That's why they drift further away from transcendentality. They couldn't break free from that false dream. None of them could.
Aleph stumbles as he looks up at the storyteller.
Both the physician and the idealist walked toward their own destruction, just as I expected. But your novel still has hope, Recoleta. Its ending hasn't been written yet. We cannot deny that it may be the answer to achieving transcendentality.
You're not going to stop, are you? Not until you get your answer. Sinetto, we have no choice but to seize the die from him by force.
Sinetto's arcane energy gathers at the tip of her glass fetter. At this moment, the silent storyteller takes a step forward.
Enough. I said enough!
She shakes as she reveals the notebook that has never left her side. Excuse me. The boundary of fiction. Oh, the Behind Bars Book Club. I see. Boundary of fiction, she does not hesitate. Hey, TV. Expo Guadalajara. 1990 Guadalajara International Book Fair. People move between bookshelves and corridors, engaged in heated conversations. The air is filled with the mingling of multiple languages.
I'm afraid we can't publish your novel in its current state, Recoleta. We look forward to seeing more refined work from you in the future. Ah, Senor Cruz! What a pleasure to see you here. I'm an editor from the Naranja Dulce publishing house. Could you spare a moment to discuss the copyright for the Bluebird? We're huge fans of your children's literature.
The editor leaves, hurrying after another writer, leaving Recoleta standing alone in place, the 17th publisher to reject her today.
Hey, relax, Recoleta. Look at all the books around you. This place is heaven. You can't get down on yourself. Not here. There's so many writers and publishers here. It's only natural you'd be turned down 17 times. This is just the beginning.
The young writer, attempting to forget her 17th rejection, flips through the event guide in her hands.
Now, which section should I visit next? Oh, this brochure might help.
She turns to the last page of the thick handbook, where all the invited authors and their contact details are listed.
Estupendo. An exchange of ideas between writers. Nothing could be more incredible than that. I recall James Joyce was inspired by a letter he received from Henrik Ibsen. So, maybe what I need is to find someone to share my manuscript with.
I need a beta writer.
Who? Tadeo Emasums. Aleph. Averroes.
Lima Apartments, Buenos Aires. A knock at the door interrupts your daydream. Radiator.
Oh, it's you, senor. Don't worry. I promise I'll catch up on the rent next month. Although I must say, this apartment's hardly worth the price. The cracks on the walls must date back to the last century.
Make all the excuses you want, Ingrid. If you don't pay the rent soon, you'll either end up in that crumbling colonial building on the corner or on the street, selling oranges at the San Telmo market. By the way, Julia told me you lost your job at the textile factory. You under some kinda can't work in one place for more than 3 months, curse or something, senorita?
Oh, you don't even want to know about the terrible things that happened in that factory. All I did was lend the oppressed workers a hand.
Bah, you're just like those college kids, full of hot air. Anyway, I am not here about the rent. Didn't you tell me to watch out for your letters a while back, when you just returned from abroad? Well, here it is. A letter for you.
The girl freezes for a moment, then snatches the letter and slams the door shut, almost buzzing with excitement when she unfolds it.
Dios mío! Someone actually wrote back to me! This is incredible! Oh, thank you so much for bringing it to me, senor!
She slits open the long traveling letter.
Dear Miss Recoleta, it's from, let's see, Aleph.
Hey, I've been watching you. You're not local, are you? What are you writing?
Oh, hola. You're right. I just arrived in Buenos Aires 3 days ago. My trip's been a lot like a Copes Tango performance, full of twists and turns, but nothing much worth telling, really. I'm actually writing a reply to my pen pal. Long story short, I sent him a manuscript of my novel, and to my surprise, he actually wrote back. Amazing, isn't it? In our recent letters, we've been discussing how my novel lacks a key character to drive the story toward a decisive ending. So we've been debating whether to introduce a new ghost to act as a turning point for the story.
Oh, so then you're a writer? Hey, Pancho, come over here. I found an actual real-life writer.
What's the big deal? I wrote plenty of poems in middle school.
Oh, so you're a poet. I have a feeling we're about to embark on an incredible adventure together. Are you interested in joining the visceral realism movement?
Visceral realism, that's what I was thinking of. Oh god, she info dumps on strangers on her interests. She does seem like the type though, doesn't she?
This what? I've never heard of it, but it sounds like fun.
Fabuloso! We have no time to waste. Once I finish this letter, you two must join me on a journey to Ushuaia.
Invites random strangers you just met on a journey to another city.
Ushuaia? The end of the world? Why the heck would we go to that icebox?
Oh, don't be such a downer, Pancho. Just think of the fun we'll have, the breathtaking scenery we'll see, and the incredible stories we'll hear.
Fine, Maria. I'll deal with the cold if you really want to go so badly.
By the way, could you tell us about your novel?
Of course. I'll tell you all about it on the way. Now where to begin? Alright, let's start with the cottage with the blue roof in Amalfitano. It's been 6 months since we first exchanged letters.
I'm actually gonna be a downer here and say that I don't know if she'd think very highly of fanfiction, because she's all about like original ideas and using literature as a tool for the oppressed and all of that stuff. I don't know if she would do that. I think she might find it a waste of time. Not worthless by any means, but I don't know if she'd see the value in derivative works.
Since then, I've been traveling. First from Chile to Mexico, then from Mexico to Argentina. And I've never stopped writing.
She does seem like she seems like the type, she strikes me as the type who'd be like, wow, that's awesome, but like, why don't you just do something original with it instead? Why are you using an existing property as like, as a crutch? Like, you can take inspiration and make something new with it, sort of thing. She strikes me as that kind of person. Oh shit, it's odd time already. I'm not gonna move forward until you guys get back, so I'll see you in 3 minutes. Oh boy. Well, I have some answers. I'm still not entirely sure if she's fictional or not. Can awakened figures be concepts? I mean, probably not. Probably not, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. I don't think that's how Awakened works. Isn't all writing derivative in some way, shape, or form? I think... How do I put this? I think that's an oversimplification. I feel like that argument... I feel the same way about that argument as I feel about people who defend LLMs by being like, oh, so this machine just, like, takes a bunch of knowledge that it has and then produces an output based on that. What do you think human brains do? Like, like that kind of, like, I find it along that sort of oversimplification, where it's like, yeah, sure, writing is derivative in one way or another, but there is a very distinct difference between original fiction and a transformative work, you know? Transformative work is the academic term for fanfiction. Like, there's a difference between taking inspiration, there's a difference between retelling someone else's story, maybe in your own way, and playing in someone else's IP, which is what transformative works are. I am being pedantic. Of course she's fictional. She's from verse 1999. Lucy is technically the concept of... I mean, she was birthed from human innovation, for sure. But she was still an object first. She was a piston, I believe, from a steam engine, if I remember correctly. Like, Awakens are imbued with, I suppose, like, local energy, local inspiration, some local event, and imbued into some kind of object. And even so, Lucy was a piston and needed a body built for her. So, like, before she had that body, she was just a little fucking talking piston, right? I'm not sure if, Awakened could be, like, a concept given human form. I'm not saying it's not possible, I'm just saying I don't think that's how, you know, the category of capital A awakened, entities in Reverse 1999 work. She could be a concept given human form, 100%. I just don't think she's an Awakened. I don't think. I'm getting the headcanon she'd be weirdly into Warhammer novels. I've bet some people into Warhammer, I could see it. Okay, welcome back, everybody.
I'm not really sure what the purpose of my novel is. I just keep writing and writing. I can't stop. What power does literature hold? What responsibilities? Perhaps only by continuing to write will I understand one day.
Recoleta flips through her notebook, every turn of the page containing a different colored letter. After their long journey, these pages of letters form a faded riddle, their handwriting long since blurred.
Aleph, you're right. I do want an ending to my novel. But not like this.
You really have no idea, do you, Recoleta?
Uh-huh. Her only reader realizes she has still not grasped what is happening, forcing him to reveal a truth he has long concealed.
The rise and fall of sanity is your story.
What do you mean?
You are a ghost, wandering this forsaken land, still striving to create a miracle.
So, Recoleta referred to the characters in her novel as ghosts. So is he saying that she is a character from her novel?
You are a wandering poet, born in Amalfi-Tano.
Oh, yeah,
the
that's what he's
foolishly
saying.
brave protagonist of the story, and the embodiment of the author herself.
I think that is what he's saying.
A reflection, yes. The author, no. You are simply a figment of her imagination, a manifestation of her dream to wander.
Oh my god, she is a personification of ideals. Motherfucker.
Have you not realized it? The literary pursuits and romantic adventures you described, they are merely faded memories from 1975. The poets who joined the visceral realism movement with you left Latin America long ago.
Faded memories?
I'm flittering in and out. I'm having issues here. Is Recoleta the person who created the asylum, or has Aleph did Recoleta create Aleph? No, Aleph is a human, apparently, which was the biggest shocker to me. I thought he was an Arcanist. I thought that was the whole thing. He's just some dude. He was just some guy, who has, like... I mean, like, I guess the closest parallel to, an actual disorder would be the, I can't remember what the fuck it's called, but it's, like, a hyper-photographic memory. So it's not just a photographic memory, it's remembering every single detail about everything you ever encounter ever. I think that's like the closest parallel. There could be another disorder or something that's closer to what he has, but like just it's not just a photographic memory, it's an all encapsulating memory where you just cannot forget anything, and it's like torture because you can't forget anything. But he's just some human with some kind of disorder. I'm not sure if he was plural before or after the die. But he was given this magical artifact by Manus Vindictae in order to find the answer to a question. And that's what he's been doing this whole time. Recoleta somehow found his information and wrote to him asking a question because he's like primed to answer questions. That's all he does. He ran simulations of her existing writing within the Panopticon to give her suggestions as to where she should go with her story. But as of right now, it seems like Recoleta herself is a fictional character born from the ideals of the original author of the book she's from. But I'm guessing maybe the book was never finished, so she's trying to write an ending for the story that she's a part of. But she doesn't realize she's a fictional character, I think. Eidetic memory, that sounds familiar.
As for the novel, it's yours now. A story you're writing. A story about yourself. Your departure has turned Amalfitano into a ghost town. The characters have lost their connection to you. They're gradually fading away.
Okay, so I can't fully grasp what's happening here, but I feel like because this arc is so heavily tied to the Latin American boom, right? And the literary movement that happened in Latin America during that era, I feel like this entire thing is a metaphor for that movement ending. Because remember, Garcia said that line about, visceral realism died in 1977 or something. And I'm guessing that's because, I don't know, people stopped writing, or maybe they left the area, or I don't know what would cause the fall of the literary movement. But this whole thing about losing connection to, like, these memories made in that era, I feel like is a parallel to what happened back then. I don't have all the information. I don't know shit about fucking literature. I'm just drawing from what we learned from this arc so far. So, she's birthed from the ideals of a place that lost the people who created those ideals during a certain year, or during a certain era, and she's trying to write an ending for what happened there. Does that make sense?
If the novel is destroyed, you too will cease to exist.
She sent letters to different people from the back of a brochure of her writing. Oh yeah, that's that. What was he doing on the back of there? What was his contact info doing back there? I mean, I guess the Foucault Association reached out to him.
Miss Recoleta, is what he said true?
I guess the Foucault Association reached out to him, so maybe he does just have maybe he does just dox himself in the back of writing brochures.
I know you never lie, pen pal. In your first letter, you told me that a character's role in fate must be determined from the outset and consistently adhered to throughout the story. Reading the perspective and insights of a walking encyclopedia, Having such a person be willing to share their thoughts at all was an exhilarating experience. I had never imagined my novel could develop in this way. Words could hardly describe how I felt in that moment. No one but you has ever understood the story of that town, let alone offered any revisions. Following your advice, I added the bank clerk, the dune piscator, the blind weaver, and the murdered donkey driver. Amalfitano was no longer an empty town with a single blue-roofed cottage. The new ghostly residents had begun to fill the skies over it. The story was finally reaching completion. I could feel that the ending was within reach. I became increasingly eager to meet my pen pal. I couldn't get the thought out of my mind.
And that kind of explains why she was, at the beginning of the story, she was so, not only, like, obsessed with her own novel and finishing it, like, prior, because remember, like, when the Idealist got fucking shot. Oh no, not when the Idealist got shot, when they were talking to, the physician, that alter ego. And he, like, killed a man in front of them, and she was like, okay, like, I get you don't want to talk about my novel anymore, I get it, okay? And, like, that's all she could fucking, because, like, that novel is her. It's her entire life story, and it's the reason why she was so obsessed with, like, finding him and talking to him in the first place, because he's the only person on the planet who's bothered to try to help her find her ending. I get it now. Her character retroactively makes a bit more sense.
I wasn't sure what I would say to this Aleph. A simple thank you, perhaps? Or maybe a discussion about the future of Amalfitano with its sole reader.
What happens to her when the novel is finished? That's a great question, Caffeinated Blacksmith.
Or maybe I'm no different from everyone else. Led up the garden path by fate. But even if I am a ghost, as you say, an incarnation of someone else, a fictional being, so what? My resolve will not waver, even if my existence is bound to fade away. Because this isn't what literature is supposed to be. You once told me there isn't an ounce of reality in fiction, only voids and glorified lies. Let me tell you this. Whether real or fictional, corporeal or intangible, I have accepted my existence. Now, let's put a stop to this, Aleph.
Okay. Oh!
The inmates aren't characters in my novel. They're people trapped in a prison, just as you are.
Oh,
by
shit!
Simulating my story here.
Oh, shit!
You have made me into some kind of god. A guilty, false creator. A dictator of fate. I never wanted any of this.
Amalfitano! Oh, that was cool. Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Boom. Bap. Boom. No, wait, hey, no, wait, we're gonna do... Actually, you know what, let's try making, Recoleta the main DPS here.
Which of these darlings shall we attend to first?
Hello.
Lo veo. La frecuencia perfecta. La admirable aleatoriedad del destino.
I see at the perfect frequency the admirable randomness of fate.
Creo que lo he encontrado.
I think I
La
found
fuente del dao de
the source of the
Babilonia.
die of Babylon.
Las deudas de los muertos.
The debts
Esas
of the
facturas.
dead. Those bills.
Todas han
They've
sido
all been
hechas
torn to
trizas.
shreds.
Ya no estoy atrapado.
I'm not trapped anymore.
Desde el día en que perdí la vista,
I never imagined
nunca imaginé que la rueda
okay, we're
giratoria
in the
volviera a
story
girar.
now. The Doorside Beggar, the Murdered Donkey Driver, the Dune I don't know what is this? Hang on. I don't know what that word means. Piscator? Piscator is an older word for fisherman or angler. Oh. Alright, cool. Also started to look for definitions of visceral realism. It feels like a deep rabbit hole to fall into, as is anything with fucking philosophy. Okay, let's enter...
Perfectly understood.
Okay, wait, let's do debuff. Debuff.
Oh look, here's another one.
Channel.
Perfectly understood.
That should trigger Ronjo's. Well,
What I'm good at.
Let's see if this works.
Feel my dark embrace. Please, allow me.
Up and at it!
Oh no, it just negates it because she's in the channel state. I whiffed it!
What are you doing?
En la acumulación de laberintos, suéltalo todo una vez más.
Where's he finding fish in the desert? Being formed on
Dreams.
Maybe I did whiff it? I don't know. Okay, well that works.
Finally, it's just you and me, Master.
Don't ask me how. Thank you, Anjo! Shattered words and ghostly illusions roar forth, breaking free from the story's structure and the gaps between its lines, filled with regret and obsession. Torn letters and book pages flutter in the air, like snow in a crystal globe on a winter night. Everything is quiet.
Huh? Miss Recoleta has vanished.
Oh my god, she's actually gone!
Did she really cease to exist like Aleph said?
Recoleta.
Holy fuck, no way! Holy shit, did she die? I mean, like, Reverse 1999 is not afraid to, like, kill off characters. Like, it's not afraid, like, this isn't, like, the first time it would have happened in this game, but, like, really? This bitch just killed herself out of... I mean, like, it wasn't entirely... I mean, I know you're joking. I know you're kidding. I know you're joking. But, like, I think it's very powerful that, you know, she's birthed from the ideals of... I don't know if revolutionists is like the best term for, because I don't have an understanding of that literary movement or its political bearings, but I'm gonna use the word revolutionist because I don't know how else to describe it. Anti-establishment, I should at least say. I should at least say anti-establishment. And knowing that Aleph was plugging in her questions into this simulation. Well, not simulation. I shouldn't say simulation because these are actual people. There are actual people in here, but he's using the power of the die to, like, put them in situations in order to let storylines play out, right? And in that little cutscene when she called herself, like, an unwilling dictator, I feel like that's very poignant considering the history of like, Latin America and so I can tell that there's something deeper here. I just don't have the knowledge to appreciate how deep it is. But like I can kind of get I'm getting whiffs of the of the historical and literary references here, and I'm like, I see what you're doing, kind of. I'm not educated enough to be able to explain it, but I can feel it. I get the vibes. I'm receiving the vibes you're transmitting. But yeah, no, I think that was an extremely powerful moment, and I really appreciated it. Even if I don't understand fully what's going on, the fact that she did that as soon as she learned the truth of the matter, I think was very powerful. Given she is usable, I doubt she's dead. To my knowledge, none of the characters are truly dead. I don't think that's true.
If it doesn't stop raining,
surely we have dead people, don't we? Didn't Jill, like, kill herself Didn't she sacrifice herself to the mountain gods in order to save the village that, like, she fucked up? I mean, I guess she just disappeared. I guess she didn't die. I guess she disappeared. I could have sworn we've had dead characters in this roster. Like, I'm sure we do. Oh shit. Who am I thinking of? Well, Tuesday's detained. I mean, Crystallo's as good as dead, let's be real. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Hey, 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 hey!
Welcome to my place. We can,
She's dead, and that's the whole point. That's her whole arc, is the fact that she died.
See? Plappy is greeting you.
Don't ask about the name Plappy.
What
Plappy's
are
the name
you
of her
looking for?
fucking ostrich emu thing.
Ranger Brimley salutes you.
Which one of you motherfuckers is dead? Did we not see the death of a playable character on screen? I could have sworn this happened like at least a couple of times. Maybe I'm dumb. Maybe we haven't had a maybe we don't have a dead playable character. Yeah, all these bitches alive. Alright. Ghosts of the past. Beneath the earth, those who were never granted marble nor memorials call out her name. On an unknown night, the wind carries the cold desolation of the desert. In the cottage with a blue roof, the girl dreams of a circular prison. Then she wakes.
Qué sueño más extraño.
What a bizarre dream.
El sabor de la realidad.
The taste
Tan
of
amargo y
reality, so
triste.
bitter and sad,
Pero
but full of
lleno de
dialectical thinking.
pensamiento dialéctico.
Maybe the
Tal
people of
vez
the
la gente del
panopticon were reflecting
panóptico
my inner
reflejaba
thoughts.
mis pensamientos internos.
She looks around, surveying the cobwebbed corners where stacks of manuscripts have piled up to the ceiling and over empty ink bottles collecting dust.
Entonces realmente
I really
soy
am a
un
character
personaje
in
en
the
la
novel.
novela. La misteriosa cabaña
Mysterious
con el
cottage
techo
with the blue
azul
roof was
fue
my
mi
home
hogar
all
todo el
along.
tiempo.
Then the rumors the ghosts
Entonces,
spread were
los
indeed just
rumores
that.
que los fantasmas
Rumors.
propagaron eran realmente eso. Rumores.
The young writer steps out of her home and into the streets of a familiar yet foreign desert town. Countless nameless characters and ghosts arrive upon hearing the news, filling the roads and skies.
Bienvenida de nuevo a Amalfitano, querida escritora.
Welcome back to Amalfitano, dear writer.
Gracias, querido ícono del capitalismo.
Thank you, dear icon of capitalism.
Pero, ¿no
But
desgarré
didn't I
esta
tear this
novela
novel
en
to
pedazos?
pieces? A woman wearing a peculiar hat steps forward.
Verás,
You see,
Amalfitano es una
Amalfitano
dimensión
is a
más allá de
dimension
la vida y la
beyond life
muerte.
and death.
Este pueblo
This
es
town
un
is a
reflejo de
reflection of
tus
your inner
pensamientos
thoughts. It's
internos.
incorporeal.
Es
You
incorpóreo.
can't tear
No
something
puedes
incorporeal to
desgarrar
pieces.
algo incorpóreo en pedazos. La literatura es infinita
Literature
y
is endless
atemporal,
and timeless,
como
like
un
a
río
river
que
flowing
fluye a
across
través de
life
la
and
vida
death.
y la muerte. No me extraña que seas mi
No wonder
personaje
you're my favorite
favorito.
character. You never
Nunca
cease
dejas
to
de
enlighten me.
iluminarme.
Desafortunadamente,
Unfortunately,
la literatura
literature
es
is a
una
dangerous and
vocación
futile
peligrosa e
Nobody
inútil.
truly understands or even
Nadie
remembers your
entiende
work.
realmente, ni siquiera recuerda tu trabajo. ¿Recuerdas el
Do
dicho?
you remember the saying?
Los únicos
The only truly
verdaderamente
dead are those who
muertos
have been
son
forgotten.
aquellos que han sido olvidados. Recoleta,
You'll disappear for good if
desaparecerás
you
para
leave Amalfitano
siempre si
again.
dejas a Amalfitano
It'll be like
otra
you never
vez.
existed.
Será como si nunca hubieras existido.
Siempre he admirado tu
I've always
pensamiento
admired your
crítico,
critical
señor.
thinking, sir.
Encaja
It fits your role
perfectamente con tu rol.
Rough hands grasp the writer's palm, feeling at the lines etched into her skin.
Todo estará bien, Recoleta.
Everything will be all right, Recoleta.
Lo que sea que haya
Whatever
pasado,
happened, you've returned now.
ahora has regresado.
That's what matters.
Eso, el dado de Babilonia
The
rodará
die
de
of
nuevo.
Babylon will roll again.
Y cada uno de
And each of us will
nosotros
get our
obtendrá
endings.
nuestros finales.
The crowd erupts in cheers.
Así es.
That's
Resuelve el
right.
asesinato
Solve
en
the
el
murder
bar.
at the
Pon
bar
mi
and put
alma
my
en
soul to
paz.
rest.
Libera al pueblo de la locura
Free the village from the
infligida por el
madness inflicted
antiguo
by the ancient
espíritu.
spirit.
Arregla la aleatoriedad
Fix the
del dado de
randomness of the die
Babilonia
of
y
Babylon
aplana la
and flatten
frecuencia
the calamitous
catastrófica.
frequency. Roll the die one last time, Recoleta. The young writer takes a step forward. Everyone, the living and the ghosts, watches expectantly.
Entonces, el final que he estado
So
buscando
the ending I've been searching for
es
is the
el
one
que
the
el
other
otro
me was
yo
unable to give me?
no pudo darme. El yo
The
que
me
se
that
lanzó
plunged
de
headfirst
cabeza
into the struggle against
a
an
la
undefeatable
lucha
power.
contra un poder
The me who ultimately left
invencible.
this land.
El yo que finalmente dejó esta tierra. Después de todo este
After
tiempo,
all this time, I finally found my ending.
finalmente he encontrado mi final.
She grasps the gleaming die of Babylon.
Solo un lanzamiento más
Just one more roll and
y
it'll all be
todo habrá
over.
terminado. Mi historia,
My story, my
mi
town,
pueblo,
everything will finally come
todo
to an end.
finalmente llegará a su fin. Pero el sueño sobre el
But the dream
panóptico
about the panopticon,
también terminará,
it'll end
¿verdad?
as well, won't it? She stops.
Oh, cariño.
Oh,
Es solo un
sweetheart, it's
sueño.
just a dream.
Ah, no me
tell
digas
me
que
you're
estás
abandoning your
abandonando
lifelong
tu
pursuit for a
búsqueda de
measly
toda
dream.
la vida por un miserable sueño.
Ese sueño es cruel.
That
Nadie
dream is
entiende
cruel.
esta gran novela ahí ni este
No one
pueblo
understands this
asombroso.
great novel there or this amazing town.
Pero aquí,
But here,
eres una
you're a true
verdadera
writer.
escritora.
This is your home, Recoleta.
Este es tu hogar, Recoleta.
Pero ya extraño a
But I
mis
already miss
amigos
my
en
friends
ese
in that
sueño.
dream. It exists,
Existe,
just like this
así
place
como
does.
este lugar existe.
Pero nosotros también
But we're
somos
your
tus
friends too,
amigos,
Recoleta.
Recoleta.
Podrías desaparecer si
You might
dejas a
disappear forever if
Amalfitano.
you leave Amalfitano.
¿Estás
Are you
segura
sure you want
de
to
que
leave?
quieres irte?
The young writer puts down the die in her hand. The die that signifies the end of everything vanishes into the sandy wind.
¿Sabéis cómo soy,
You know
queridos
what I'm
amigos?
like, my dear friends.
He pasado
I've
mi
spent my
vida
life embarking on
emprendiendo
foolish,
aventuras
unrewarded
tontas
adventures.
y no recompensadas. Así soy yo,
That's just
¿verdad?
who I am, isn't it?
Amalfitano es,
indeed an ideal
en
place.
efecto,
A place for
un
wandering,
lugar
for a
ideal,
short trip, and for
un
losing
lugar para
oneself for
vagar,
a while.
para un viaje corto y para perderse un rato. Y tiene ustedes,
And it has
mis
you, my
amigos
fictional friends,
ficticios,
who I love so
a quienes
dearly.
quiero tanto. Pero debo regresar a
But
mi
I must
sueño
return to my dream
y
and
ver
see
a
my
mis
friends
amigos
there.
ahí.
They're just as important to
Ellos
me.
son igual de importantes para mí.
As they hear her words, the ghosts of the town smile with relief.
Sí, tienes razón, Recoleta.
Yes, you're right, Recoleta.
No se puede negar que eres
There's
un
no
alma
denying
noble
that
y
you're a noble
apasionada.
and passionate soul.
Cada uno de nosotros lo
Every one of
sabe.
us knows it.
También eres
You're a
nuestra
dear friend,
querida
too. Why
amiga.
would we stop you from
¿Por
doing
qué
what
te
you truly want?
tendremos de hacer lo que realmente...
Oh shit, sorry. Everyone makes way for her as a path into a boundless void unfolds.
Te deseamos lo mejor,
We wish you
Recoleta.
the very best, Recoleta.
Buenas noches, querida.
Good night, my dear.
Que tu sueño sea
May
dulce
your
esta
dream be a
vez.
sweet one this time.
Gracias a todos, mis amigos.
Thank you all, my friends.
Nunca los olvidaré.
I'll never forget you. The girl wipes the tears from her eyes and steps into the looming darkness. All is silent as she enters the barren land. There is only the faint sound of footsteps echoing against a vast and empty darkness.
I've read your work, Señorita Recoleta. To be frank, it lacks both depth and breadth. This town of yours is still far from reflecting the complexity of society, and the narrative lacks a discerning perspective. It still needs some work if you want it to truly resonate with our audience. Just go for it, señorita. You're at a perfect age to explore, experience, and learn.
Time wheels, and at last the girl feels her existence again within the void. She reclaims her voice.
What's happening to me?
1,000 or perhaps countless faces emerge before her again.
Ah, of course. The rise and fall of sanity is my story. So, even though the novel's been destroyed, the story, and myself along with it, lives on in the minds of those who read it. Thank you for your feedback, editor. Even here in this great expanse of darkness, I can still hear your words. You have my gratitude. Thank you for reading my novel, even if you didn't understand it, and likely never will.
I could be reaching here, but this sounds like it's aimed at us. Because, like, I guess if you think about it, we're part of the reason that she can come back because we read her story. Does that make sense? She navigates a labyrinth of words and an endless expanse of mirrored waters, the darkness surging toward her like a rush of waves on a dark night, making her presence feel heavier.
Honestly, I find your story totally fascinating, but I'm still struggling to understand the connections between all these nameless characters. Couldn't you make it clearer? Like a movie?
Typical. Trust a writer to try to be all obscure and mysterious.
Maria, Pancho, you guys are the best traveling pals I've ever had. Our paths may diverge in the future, but the joyful memories of our journey across grasslands, snowfields, and deserts together will remain forever.
It's been great coming along with you. You're totally one of a kind. We'll be waiting for you at my aunt's vineyard. A little sun after a hard day's work will do you good.
The passionate companions wave to her, never looking back as they continue forward. The girl's steps are no longer weightless. With every step she takes, they feel heavier and more real. She lingers inside the infinite mask in the mirror, the boundless universe filling her with both confusion and illusion.
There is ambition in her writing. It's passionate and poetic, fractured and chaotic. But when viewed as a whole, her work feels like little more than a superficial illusion. It lacks the depth to truly touch the soul. I will refrain from offering further comments until she stops romanticizing her childish adventures.
To put it bluntly, her phraseology feels overly deliberate to the point of distortion. Her verbiage is like a collection of vague sentiment bubbles.
Your work sucks! Oh, shit.
I see, Aleph. Then this is how you really feel about my novel?
1,000 readers will interpret a story 1,000 different ways. Some believe the text itself is dead, and it is the reader who gives it life. The truth cannot be fully conveyed through words alone. That said, I think the rise and fall of sanity is a good story.
Her heart skips a beat. Within this paradise that harbors the boundless histories and mysteries of humanity, she finally finds the mirror and shows her what reality truly is.
So the Eternal Paradise is a library of sorts, just like I always imagined. Or is this just another reflection of my inner thoughts? I like it here. It's nice being surrounded by literature. But it's time to go back to reality. You're right about literature, Dorside Beggar. It is a dangerous and futile calling, but I still believe in it.
The investigators from the Foundation breathe a sigh of relief together. Regaletta's reappearance is as sudden as her disappearance. Sonetto hasn't even had time to wipe the tears from the corners of her eyes.
Recoletta, you're back!
I'm so glad to see you're safe. And I'm so glad to see you two worried sick about me. Thanks, mis mejores amigas Sonetto y Burton.
The reborn writer turns to the prisoner sitting dejected nearby.
See, Aleph? I still exist.
Amalfitano is gone. It's all over. You're simply a wandering ghost now, never to return home again. You may still exist, but Amalfitano will never get its ending. You've nullified its existence, rendering all of this meaningless. I'm sorry I couldn't answer your question. I've failed once again.
His die falls to the ground. Once used to construct a beautiful dream, now whatever magic it held has dissipated.
Amalfitano and the Panopticon were two parts of a whole. With Amalfitano gone, Komala no longer has any reason to exist.
I'm sorry, Aleph. You, who know all the mysteries of the world, who seek answers to every question, have lost yourself in the process. You can answer everyone else's questions, but never your own. Who's the person behind that mask? Is he real? Does he still exist?
Who am I?
The weighty ending to the story leaves the prisoner still trapped in a blurred illusion, exhausted. Komala Prison groans like an aging water wheel struggling under its own weight, distorting, fading, and collapsing into the currents of his mind.
Stay vigilant, everyone. This is just like when the idealist and the physician had their meltdown. Only this time, it seems even worse.
I think Aleph is trying to tear down the Panopticon.
Beyond the crumbling walls, a shivering figure is faintly visible. He grips a gun tightly. The black barrel shaking in his hands is aimed at the people in the room.
Freeze! Stay where you are. All of you.
Hello? Who the fuck has a gun?
Take a deep breath, soldier. The smoke's cleared now. This story, this battle, will soon come to an end. A writer has departed from her domain, leaving her creations scattered behind her, like blood-soaked bandages and fragmented skulls in the trenches. What a garbled mess.
I think I understand.
How wonderful for you. You know what? You should be the leader of the literature encryption communication team. Just arm yourself with a dictionary, and even enemies with 45 Maxim machine guns won't stand a chance against you. Because the poetry you recite will surely blow their minds before their bullets pierce yours.
You've developed a sense of humor.
Well, it's all thanks to a certain writer, the embodiment of the wandering poet and traveler from Santiago to Buenos Aires. She impressed me with her precious experience as a cafe dishwasher and campground caretaker. What really rekindled my sense of humor was her seriousness about her literary pursuits. You'd understand what I mean if you'd ever heard a cheesy joke at a comrade's graveside. Drawing strength from her wanderings and rebellious exploits, she attempted to change society, wielding the sword of literature as a revolutionary intellectual and a leader of thought. Some would hail her as a battle angel of Latin America, with words as piercing as bullets and poems as powerful as tactical bombers.
I believe in the power of literature.
You stand firm in your beliefs, huh? Well, maybe that's a good thing. A commander has to trust their soldiers, or they'll be forced to surrender before long. Here, come closer. Let me tell you a secret. Many, if not all, people foolishly think it's the executioner who drops the guillotine blade, the powder that fires the bullet. While they're half right, they're substantially inaccurate. Craters on the battlefield aren't the result of bombs, but a clashing of ideologies. A trigger pulled long before the powder ever ignited in the barrel. As for literature, well, it's probably best not to buy too much into the Latin American boom. Forget about the status report from earlier. That said, at least there's one thing that's certain. Books can bite back, and they'll leave scars.
Who the fuck's this dramatic? You know what? I'm not entirely sure. Like, for every main story chapter, or at least most of them, if not all of them, there's been a narrator that has like abstract thoughts, kind of like this. And I think there's been like 3 or 4 different narrators so far. In the very first chapter, when we first heard that guy speak, like he was with us for the first, like, I want to say 3 or 4 main story chapters. I thought it was the suitcase. I thought he was like the embodiment of the suitcase that we brought with us. But then the narrator changed like an older woman, older woman, and I'm like, oh, okay, maybe it's not the suitcase. So I'm not entirely. It's just a disembodied, omnipotent sort of voice that's relevant to the current arc that we're in, but their identity is never like disclosed. They're just kind of, I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. They're there to express some philosophical and abstract thoughts, and they always know a bit more than we do. But yeah, they're there to add flavor. They're flavor voices instead of flavor text. They're flavor voices. In praise of Folie, a tiny boat adrift upon a sea of ideals, convinced it has hoisted its sail. The prisoner steps out from behind the wall, a weapon held in his shaking hand.
I was just setting up my exhibit when everything started shaking. Then I realized it wasn't just my imagination.
Were you the one who shot the idealist?
So I followed the cracks in the wall and found my way here. I didn't mean to eavesdrop, but something's happening to the panopticon, isn't it?
His panicked hands shift the gun toward Aleph, who has collapsed on his side.
Are you the physician? Or is it Aleph? Whoever you are, please restore the panopticon to the way it was. I'm begging you. You can do that, right?
The mind that once created infinity now watches as it folds back into nothing before him.
Why?
You and I.
Why aren't you doing anything, damn it? Why is this happening?
Thank you for the sub, appreciate it.
Oh, the die. If you won't help me, then I'll do it myself.
Uh-oh. The prisoner, in desperation, lunges forward.
Calm down, Garcia.
The room of desire. I'm scared. I'm scared, bro. Maybe we'll... Let me do this. I'm gonna be honest, man. I don't actually know what she does. What does she do? What is this? I mean, rather, what does this ult do? Debuff, confusion, mapping status, gains Eureka, rehabilitation, other matching rank, cast them all if available. Can all use Eureka with second measure. Critical rehabilitation. Okay, other rehabilitation of their matching rank. Oh, Persona 4 Revival? Shit! Sorry guys, hang on. Hang on. Revival? Was it announced? I'm not seeing an announcement anywhere. Oh wait, hang on. Revival makes sense, actually. I'm not sure. I could have sworn it was gonna be like rerun or something. Hang on. Ah! Sorry. Give me 1 second. Or rewind, yeah. Rerun or rewind, I thought for sure. I mean, we all saw this coming. I mean, even before the leaks and stuff. They're just gonna be porting Persona 4 into like the P5 engine. And probably re-recording. But then, fucking Yuri Lowenthal was like, nope, I'm not reprising my role as, Yosuke in the, P4 remake. And everyone was like, in the what? In the what? And then he deleted. And then someone else also said that they weren't reprising their role in the P4 remake. And everyone was like, oh my fucking god, the voice actors are leaking it. Is P4 the new Skyrim? I wouldn't go that far. Guys, you don't think they'd remaster Persona 5, would you? I mean, like, I could see them doing a bit of a refresh of the models, but they wouldn't re-release Persona 5 again, would they? The P5 models do look a little bit outdated. They could do with a little visual update, but I don't think it needs a remake. Switch to. They still need to do. They need to redo Persona 1 and 2, but like that requires a lot more of an overhaul. Meanwhile, like at least in Persona 4, I feel like they can take a lot from Persona 4 Golden and just like refresh it a bit. You know? Same thing with Persona 3. Like, I'm not saying it's not work, but it's a lot less work than having to do Persona 1 and 2. So I really do hope Persona 1 and 2 get remade. And I'm pretty sure they said in an interview that they're planning on it. I'm pretty sure they said in an interview that it's, like, on the timeline. I'm fairly certain. Yeah, where the fuck is Persona 6? Where the fuck is P6? You know what? I'm just gonna leave this here. We're just gonna continue doing this.
Stay behind me. I'll keep us safe.
Is it just you? Guys, I don't think it's just him.
Oh look, here's another one. This conch should do. You are not
that dog named Nichols? Yeah. That's a real dog.
We're not afraid of you.
Bro, what the fuck? Garcia, the other self. Take no damage on the first round. Oh, that's why. Probably should have read that.
Just another shift. It's what I'm good at.
A good point.
Up and at it.
We worked on this collaboration together.
Oh.
I'll write you into my paper.
Oh, that was it. Oh, I thought he was gonna transform into some abomination or something because he has to die now.
He's...
Garcia, weakened by his long confinement, is easily knocked to the ground, unable to withstand even the lightest touch of arcane skill.
Baby!
Thank you, Decafin, for the follow. Appreciate it. Thank you for the chance to show off my new little follow, little follow animation there. I love it a lot.
Why is this happening to me?
Also, for those who missed it, I'm like 99% sure he's voiced by Wanderer's voice actor from Genshin, because his VA has had a role in Reverse 99 before in the previous story chapter, and it definitely sounds like him. So I'm pretty sure this is him. I don't know what the equivalent of squinting with your ears is, but I'm like, I know you, motherfucker.
I was so close. So close to completing the exhibition.
Can't you see, Garcia? There's no one controlling this place now. You're free. It isn't the dye that's trapped you, nor is it the walls of this prison. It's the rules and that overpowering gaze from the central tower. But now that's all gone. You can go outside. You can set up your exhibit anywhere you want. No need to stay stuck in this.
Looking back on all that he has lost, the artist cuts her off.
No, Señorita Recoleta. You've seen the world out there. You know as well as I that there's nowhere else I can go but here. This is the only place in the world where I can hold my exhibit. And you've ruined it. You've ruined everything.
This room's about to collapse. We've got to leave. Mr. Garcia, do you need a hand?
I can take care of myself, thank you. I'll go a different way. I have to go back and finish setting up my exhibit.
Wait, what? Is he gonna, like, die with his art? He drags himself forward with trudging steps, retracing his path to leave.
Burton, what about Aleph? We can't just leave him here.
Of course not. We still have questions he needs to answer.
He's still useful to us.
Sinetto, help me get him up. Let's get out of here.
Yes, Timekeeper.
The dejected prisoner looks at Sinetto with confusion.
Your words are always at odds with your thoughts. You carry an ocean of questions, yet never reveal even a single drop of them. Why have you never shared your doubts? Why do you stay silent in the face of everything and everyone around you?
I believe in my duty.
The prisoner shifts his gaze to the other Foundation investigator.
As for you, paracausality researcher, you're different from any other seeker of answers. Even on a desperate, near-hopeless journey, your heart holds little doubt.
Perhaps not every question needs an answer, Mr. Aleph.
Is that so?
The prisoner, so used to answering others' questions, seems to have run into one of his own, but unfortunately, no one is here to answer it.
Look. It's sinking. Corpses float on the planks, and the fleeing prisoners are swimming toward the shore. Time to abandon ship. One that was exiled to a desolate corner of the ocean by the resplendent, civilized world. It's both a prison and a sanitarium. Are any of your friends aboard? If so, you might find the following report a little offensive. Dregs of society. Human scum. These are the terms used to describe its eccentric passengers. To be fair, they do lack discipline and independence. But that may well be a response to the heavy pain they've endured. Some theorists suggest that they're innocent victims, trapped in the confines between rationality and irrationality.
Oh, shit, hang on, sorry.
Defined and redefined by historians as they please.
Sorry, quick break. There was a trailer that dropped. Hang on. Sorry. This is Persona. We're taking a tiny 50-second break. Because there was a trailer. Give me 1 second. Mute game. Unmute desktop audio. Here we go. Oh wow, it looks beautiful. Holy shit! Holy shit, that looks gorgeous! Hello? Oh wait, hang on. You can wishlist it though. Does wishlist mean that there's like that the release date is at least not 17 years in the future? Hang on, I need to share this with I need to share this with my I have a Persona channel. Yo! Let me forward this over. Is it in Gaming General already? Okay, yeah, we're gonna forward to Gaming General. And in general. There you go. Okay, perfect. Okay, sweet. Okay, sorry, we're back now.
But let's ditch the theories and simplify things. The moment the shackled called madness was fastened around their necks, whether they were truly mentally ill or not, their lives were forever scarred. And now, the mad passengers are storming the shore.
They're spreading their disease.
But one can gain immunity through controlled infection.
Why
the
is it
disease
that
can
once
become
you
its own
finally
vaccine.
get a break, rather than taking a rest,
We're
you
decaf, but
instead
bringing
come
the
to me?
hype by rating you, you wonderful person, you. Aww! Thank you, decaf. Really appreciate the raid. Hello, hello. Let me get you a little shout out here. Were you also, or were you playing? Oh, you're also playing Reverse 1999. We're just about finished the last couple of chapters of the most recent story update. Very intriguing so far. If you'd like to stick around, I did find a Reddit post. I haven't read it yet because I haven't finished it yet, but I did find a Reddit post that breaks down a lot of the historical and the literary references in this arc, and I would like to go over it after we're finished, because I know a lot of shit went over my head. But hello! Thank you very, very much for the raid, Decaf. My name is Fivetail. This is my side channel for my gacha gaming. I play gacha games, so you don't have to. But yeah, we're on, I think we're on chapter 18, 19 out of 20. And after that, we're going to be doing a little bit of a deep dive into the literary references of the most recent arc. Really enjoying myself so far. This is the first time that I've felt, I don't want to say stupid, I should say unlearned, because like I like to think I'm pretty decent at like following stories and motivations and character arcs, etc., but in that pursuit, I recognize that there's a lot of fucking shit in this arc where I'm like, I don't know enough about this to understand what they're referencing, but I know they're referencing something, so I'm excited to get a breakdown of this arc and take a look at some of the references that have went completely over my head. I'll be sticking around for an hour or two while I edit. Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you for the follow, Twangerine. Awesome. Beginning definitely had a lot of things went over my head because I was half asleep. That's fair. Yeah, Reverse 1999 is definitely not a game you can play half asleep. At least the story, for sure. Gotcha addiction, more like. I mean, I don't want to say it's an addiction, although, you know, it's you can't say you're not addicted to something, you know. It's one of those things where it's kind of like when you say I'm not angry. You can't tell other people that you're not something. But I do really very much enjoy gacha games because they follow a format that is cohesive to my life. That is cohesive to my lifestyle and how I like consuming things in small doses. In a world where every game is 700 hours long and replayable, I'm like, my ADHD ass can't handle that. I like microdosing on my stories and then coming back 6 weeks later, okay? And that's how I like playing my games. So yes, thank you very much again for the raid, Decaf. When gain immunity through controlled infection, the disease can become its own vaccine.
Just be aware of the ignorant commander who defies a wandering lunatic in pursuit of a little knowledge. Let's dig deeper. Scavenge through the messy battlefield for dog tags. Were these people born mad, After watching the inhabitants of this earth tear each other apart in one war after another, I've concluded this. Only knowledge drives people to madness. Ignorance does not. Madness is a side effect of the sedative that is knowledge. As long as those on land continue to consume it, this ship will never be short on recruits. This is a war between madness and civilization. Both sides have leveled accusations, spilled blood, and pummeled each other. And soon, everyone will have leapt into the trenches and been beaten to a bloody pulp. Only a few can escape this fate.
Like who?
Check your 6. The one leaning against the sunken ship, showing no signs of struggle or sorrow. Garcia. The seawater has flooded his windpipe and reddened his eyes. Yet there he is, staring blankly at the shore. He's in his home base. He holds no hope for forgiveness from his enemies. Not in the slightest. He's a one-man army, fighting only for himself. Alone. Now, do a 360 and look again. He's been utterly defeated.
Jesus. Alright. Oh shit. Okay, so unfortunately it is ad time. What we do on this channel and on my main channel is that when it is, we do ad breaks in order to disable pre-rolls for people coming in. And I just stopped playing, so I'm probably just gonna go and do like a limbo level or whatever for the next 3 minutes until you guys are out of ads. Decaf, I appreciate the paragraph that you've sent. I will read it because I would like to actually read it and pay attention to it. So I'll read it after we come back from break. So I'll see you guys in 3 minutes. All right.
Forte.
We're probably gonna do. We're gonna go.
Piano.
We're gonna do this. We're gonna go. Fucking artificial somnambudum. Synambulism. Yeah, we're only on level 12. We're only on floor 12. All right. Fucking sure.
Keep the sample.
Okay, yeah, so we want to do this. We're gonna do some of
It
this.
could be what I'm good at. Time to check my calculation. It's out with you. Given that.
Oh shit!
A good point.
I was not paying attention. I'm not paying attention to the passes.
Calculating distance.
Gotcha game for you to look into.
It's a bubble.
I'm pretty well tuned in as to what games are coming out. It takes a lot for me to actually like be interested in one. Feel free to suggest.
An academic question.
But there is a good chance I have seen it and have already dismissed it. What is this passive?
Just another shift.
Limited scale, infinite lines. Behold.
These sheets are my wings.
Oh wait a minute, it's not in here. It's not, what? What is this mechanic? At the end of the round, rewrites one random idiot with it. Oh, okay, alright. Oh, so it's, okay, it's their passive, not a stage passive. Okay.
What I'm good at. It could be something.
That's a point.
Just another shift. Up and at it. Are you irrational numbers?
Calculating distance.
That weren't even as tough as waking up an old factory man.
Oh, Guardian Tales! Yeah, I've seen stuff about Guardian Tales. Has that one, is Guardian, am I mistaken, or has Guardian Tales like lasted a good while? Is it one of those like long-standing ones? Because it comes up a lot. I have seen it around.
I'll do my best.
It's more of an RPG, but I love it so much. I'm glad you're having a good time. The art style's not really up my alley, but I'm glad you're having a good time. Welcome back, everybody. We're just gonna finish this off real quick.
The moment of
Do you
utterance.
fuckers have it too? Okay, you guys don't have it. Okay, you guys don't have it.
The moment of silence.
Or this one.
Until the torch is lit.
That knocking Folie, I thought it was outside my headset. It's really good Folie. It catches me off guard sometimes, yeah. We got a new patch a few weeks ago. Do you guys have, like, regular updates?
This book? Or this book? Time to turn the page.
1337 deal damage.
To read.
Look, I agree, because apparently she's, like, not great right now, but also... I build characters and I just use them forever, and I haven't done, like, the really difficult stages of...
You can do this, Marcus.
Reveries?
Or this
Is
one.
Reveries, like the super hard stuff? I haven't touched that.
And now it's easier
I'm
to
getting rid of
understand.
my fucking old-ass team comps that no one fucking uses anymore. And also, not really understanding how everybody works. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's nice. Can we kill this guy?
This book? Or this book? Or this one? Time to turn the page.
I found it in patches, so I don't know much about its update.
Like
yet.
a
Well, I hope it's
metaphor?
treating me well.
Reading complete.
The general
Was
sentiment
I
around Guardian Tales
helpful?
seems pretty positive, so I'm glad it's a good game that's good to you. The sound design in reverse 1999 is Duxelvo. It really is. I really like it. Okay, perfect. Let me scroll up and read Decast's message here. Actually, let me get out of here. Let me go out in here. Word I had to look up. Pusillanimous, that Recoleta calls us when Sonetto refuses to break and enter means timid or cowardly. Yes. Foucault, a school of thought named for the philosopher who believed that knowledge and power are inextricably linked. Every dictator's action was guided by knowledge, and that madness is a social construct separate from mental illness, used to label those who deviate from the norm. This was used to defend and fight for the rights of LGBTQA and marginalized communities. Oh, that's good. That's cool. Thank you for the, yeah. We kind of touched on that, like, early yesterday when we, when we did, like, the first 3/4 of, this, arc. We're talking about, like, his definitions of, God, what was it? Tyrant Coffee Gay, what was it? Was it, like, radical queerness and, there was another type. It's really interesting stuff. I would like to look more into, his, studies and expositions one day. Radical versus conformist queerness. Yeah, there you go. Love references in it feels like a connection of memes spontaneously developed into a video game, and I can't help but love it. I'm glad. Well, it's good to know. I also, like, even if I don't play them or look into them myself, I am, like, a little bit tapped into the gacha gaming community as a whole, and, I hear and see a lot of things just via osmosis, and yeah, the sentiments around Guardian Tales has always been pretty positive. So it's nice to know that there are other games on the market that's that are good to its players. Foucault is a trip. Just don't study his personal life. That can be said of, like, any influential figure in any, like, field of work before, like, the 1990s. Just don't even look into the perk. Just don't even. You know, I learned the other day that Edgar Allan Poe married his, like, 13-year-old cousin, but, like, her mom approved of it, and they, like, lived under the same roof together, and, like, it was, like, it wasn't, like, sexual. I don't know. It was fucking weird. It was weird. I'm like, Jesus Christ. I'm just never gonna look into anyone's backstory ever again. We're just not gonna worry about it. We're just not gonna worry about it. Thank you for your contributions to society. We're gonna end it right there. Thank you. Not actually, though, because obviously being informed of, somebody's personal life does inform a lot of their, especially if they're artists, or philosophers. It could inform a lot of their philosophy in their work. See, like, Lovecraft, for instance. So it is, like, the things that they do in their personal life is inextricably tied to the things that they produce. I understand that. But also, there are some things I could have gone without knowing, you know? Like, god damn it. I hear things from heaven and in the earth about gacha games. A telltale heart. Am I the Edgar Allan Poe? No, wait, I don't want to marry my 13-year-old cousin. Never mind. Guess I'm not. Anyway.
Why are you so interested in the Panopticon of Kamala? Dear Mr. Aleph, whether as a doctor or a writer, I simply cannot turn a blind eye to friction around me.
Especially the discord and injustice I have witnessed here in Kamala. So, I would ask of you a question. Is there any way to resolve the endless conflicts in this place?
To put an end to this, a true ending is required. Your arrival has made it possible for this simulation to have an ending, or rather, a victory.
What do you mean by victory? I'd appreciate it if you could clarify in simple terms. If this victory comes at the cost of any inmate's life, I'm afraid I cannot accept it. I also have another question for you. If I leave, will the stories and conflicts here come to an end?
Miss Grace of Manus Vindicte will grant you passage. But in any case, the cycle of history will continue to repeat itself in this prison, and in the entire world.
Okay, so one thing a little bit, maybe it'll answer it soon, but the one thing I'm still a little bit confused about is who the prisoners actually are. So, like, are the prisoners in the Panopticon right now, are they actually, like, completely irredeemable criminals who have done, like, abhorrent things, and they were brainwashed via the dice into the roles that they were playing for the sake of Recoletta's story, and that's not who they actually were in the first place? Like, that's one thing I'm still, is, like, the actual identity of the people in here. Were they brainwashed, or are they actually, like, literary revolutionists who were, like, co-opted for this purpose? Because then that's kind of a coinkydink, isn't it?
The sins of humankind will not cease until veins turn to wires, flesh and bone to geometric shapes, and the world around us twists in the colors of an oil painting.
Okay, so he's talking about the storm here.
I must say, your words have left me rather baffled. Fragments of the events you describe often appear in my dreams. Could it be that these things really happened? If that's the case, why can't I recall the details? Why am I left with only disconnected pieces? The madness in Kamala. These bizarre dreams. I must put an end to them. What have I forgotten? Has someone or something altered my memory? I can't shake the feeling that something crucial to me has been lost in the river of time. Some kind of duty, perhaps. What should I do? How can I recapture what I have lost?
I won't answer a question that already has an answer. One given to you by the person who escorted you here and made you a promise. You're so close to the place where the truth lies. Think carefully. Why are you here?
Okay.
These letters we found have answered a great deal. But there's still something that isn't clear. Mr. Aleph, what exactly did the Manus promise Dr. Dorez?
An era. A chance for her to remember her duty.
An era? You helped her leave the Panopticon in the end. Where did she go?
Momentarily roused from his dream, the prisoner looks blankly for a moment before his gaze drifts back toward the distant illusion.
Southward. There, on the no-man's continent, Manus Vindicte is preparing to recreate the parable of the past and future.
Okay, so Antarctica, like that one document said.
A glorious past and a glimmering future belonging to Arcanus. Dr. Dores is deeply connected to this particular parable.
What exactly are the Manas planning to do in Antarctica? And why would Dr. Dores go there voluntarily?
The information revealed stirs unease in the hearts of the investigators from the Foundation.
Mr. Aleph, when did Dr. Dores depart?
It was a day when both the clouds and sun were visible.
A day when both the clouds and sun were visible?
Give me a date, you madman!
Could you be more
Pacific.
Oh shit, sorry.
You mean the time of day?
His mind long ago lost any sense of time, a necessary exchange to make room for an infinite cosmos of words. He once again finds himself without an answer.
When both clouds and the sun were visible. Hey, Vertin, I think I know. It was 3 days ago. Then Dr. Doris wasn't going to Comala on the day I met her. She was leaving. She was headed to Antarctica.
Oh.
It was cloudy that afternoon, with a brief spell of sunshine, just like Aleph described.
Then it hasn't been long since she left. Excellent news.
3 days. If we set off immediately, we might still catch up to her. But, based on the intel we gathered in Ushuaia, Manus Vindictae bombed the entire port 3 days ago. Clearly, they wanted to prevent any interference from the Foundation. It's unlikely we'll find any functioning ships there. I'll report the situation to the Buenos Aires branch. Timekeeper, I'm afraid we'll have to find another way to get there.
I have a boat.
Oh! A small boat gifted by Manus Vindictae. During the past several storms, he has taken this boat, traveling to Antarctica at Manus Vindictae's invitation to evade the reversion.
Could you lend it to us? The situation's urgent, Mr. Aleph.
Okay. Actually, yeah, you're right, Decaf. The fact that the literary one took note of the day's weather instead of the date. Behind a decrypted lighthouse, a battered little boat bobs in sync with the waves. Dear Diary, cloudy with the sun visible. I lobotomized 5 people today, and as the idealist, I discussed Edgar Allan's scandalous personal life. It is small and fragile, not the kind that seems capable of braving an icy sea.
This boat will automatically take you to McMurdo Port, the landing point Manus Vindictae established by the shores of the Ross Sea.
Wait, did I read that wrong? Was it not decrypted? Oh no, it did say decrypted. Oh! Oh, did it mean decrepit? Yeah, I think that's a typo. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I didn't even think twice about that. I'm like, sure, maybe the lighthouse is encoded. I don't fucking know. Maybe it's from Manus Vindictae and you need a fucking cipher to get in. I don't know. But I think you're right. I think they meant decrepit. Sonetto eyes the boat with skepticism, rightfully distrusting this advisor of Manus Vindictae.
This looks like Manus technology. Its arcane energy source is highly unstable. Timekeeper, I suggest we wait for support in Ushuaia.
I don't usually agree with Sonetto, but I have to admit, I don't have much confidence that a boat this small can actually make it to Antarctica.
Lighthouse? Encrypted? Turing mentioned?
Mr. Aleph, do you know anything about Manus Vindictae's ritual? How far has it progressed?
The ritual could begin at any moment. I believe that's why they left Kamala. Upon departure, one of their members, a woman named Grace, told me they would seal off the sea.
Are we too late?
If you wish to find Doris, you must follow the same path she took.
The distant drone of the raging waves fills their background like a repeating omen.
I see. Mr. Aleph, members of the Foundation branch will arrive soon to evaluate your condition. I hope you'll answer their questions with the same patience you showed us. Thank you. Sonetto, let's go.
Yes, Timekeeper.
Bioshock mentioned there's always a man, a lighthouse, and a city. As always, Sonetto keeps any mission-irrelevant queries to herself. The girls preparing to set sail turn to the young writer beside them.
Thank you for your assistance too, Recoleta. Perhaps you'll consider joining the...
A thunderous crash echoes from behind them, the sound of a collapsing building.
What was that? It came from the Panopticon.
I mean, like, was the Panopticon not crumbling when they left? Okay, I think it's a oh no, wait, never mind. There's a passage here, it's author unknown. I return once more to Kamala Prison. To me, this massive cage is no longer an inescapable labyrinth. When I left, the lady from Manus Vindicte did not stop me, yet I could still feel her gaze, so sorrowful, so blurred, so cold, never once shifting away from me. On the streets of Ushuaia, a young girl pointed me back toward the prison. That severed thread tugged at my heart, and I knew with certainty that my mission lay here. If I were placed before fate, my life and death would seemingly follow a predetermined path to its destined end. And as I walk this path, I must carry not even a shred of hesitation. It's time to speak with Aleph, the one who answers all questions. In place of my ashes, as day breaks, the story ends where the ashes rest. In the end, the night is not eternal. Now this is very Disco Elysium, I'm not gonna lie to you. Blazing flames reflect in their eyes, just like the name of this island might suggest. A winter night stands sentinel over a great conflagration as every brick of Kamala Prison crumbles and falls. Yes, so I know that he restructured it. It's restructured into a Panopticon. But like,
with Aleph's control gone, Kamala is collapsing. The inmates aren't even real criminals, are they? And they're still in there with no clue that they're no longer being watched from the central tower.
Wait a minute, they're not even criminals?
We have to go tell them. We have to get them to safety.
Yes, we should help them get out, at least until support arrives. But the Manus ritual.
Okay, alright, we'll go. The battered boat sways within their sight.
Don't worry. I'll go alone.
Huh?
You should hurry. When this is all over, I'll write to you, my dear friend. During this journey together, our teamwork has been impeccable. So, you can trust me to do this.
Also, I don't want to fucking go to Antarctica. I didn't sign up for this shit.
I'm not doing it just to help you or the organization you represent. I'm doing it because the inmates are my friends.
Okay, I trust you. Take care of yourself, Recoleta.
But if the storm truly is imminent, as Dr. Merlin said, then, Miss Recoleta, you'll...
Sinetto, more familiar than anyone with the Foundation's exhaustive regulations, has no ready answer. She knows that, in this era, before those Arcanists who remain ignorant of the truth, she must watch her words.
I don't quite understand what this storm is all about. But don't worry. A brand new adventure is the best thing that can happen to a writer. And I doubt it'll surpass the epic adventures we've shared over the past couple of days. I'm going to write everything, including the two of you, into my new novel.
Then I'd like to be the first to read this new novel, if that's all right.
Of course. Listen, I believe literature is like an endless, timeless river. So we'll meet again someday, somewhere. Probably in someone else's story. Who knows?
She takes one last look at her new friends, feeling a longing as if they had known each other for decades. Then, without a backward glance, the girl sprints back to the burning ruins of the prison.
Adios, mis queridos amigos.
All the visitors depart one after another. Amid the distant echo of singing, the creator of this prison stares into the fire as it burns. The moment holds for a time until a breathless jaguar appears at the dock's edge, staring at the human before her with uncertainty.
Dr. Merlin! You're Dr. Merlin, right? I finally found you.
You are the worst person at running a prison I've ever seen in my entire fucking life. Good riddance, you goddamn nutcase.
What on earth happened in the central tower? Right after I left, the whole panopticon started collapsing. The tower's in ruin. I've been looking for you everywhere. Please, sir, come with me. It isn't safe.
That won't be necessary. The snow is still falling, yet everything in the labyrinth has already gone up in flames. Fortune, fate, karma. They're nothing but a ridiculous joke. It's over, Jaguar. You have lost your memories, your identity, your name, and now your title. You are no longer a jailer trapped in the Panopticon.
I don't get it, Dr. Merlin. What are you talking about?
The jailer takes a step back, her predator instinct sensing the danger in the words to come. The damage may not be physical, but it threatens to shatter what little faith she has left to hold on to, and the life she has always known.
I'm going back to Komala. Order must be maintained. The prisoners mustn't be allowed to escape. Please take care, Dr. Merlin.
Nerves torn between panic and hesitation, the jailer at last turns toward the searing flames.
Hey, you! Don't run off like that! It's dangerous!
No one heeds her cries. One prisoner after another flees in terror, escaping the crumbling labyrinth.
Deserts! In stars! In labyrinths!
We dream on death's straw pillow!
The jailer drifts through the raging sea, unable to steer a sensible course. At last she pins down a frail and powerless prisoner beneath her weight.
Stop! Get off me! Let me go! Are you blind? The Panopticon is falling apart!
It's you, Roberta.
The jailer recognizes the prisoner under her grip. Roberta, a kind and quiet prisoner, always well behaved, now panicked and desperate to escape.
They are all mad! I knew it! They've been insane from the start! The whole place is burning to the ground and they still won't leave! They're still talking and talking about things that no one cares about! I can't help them! I never understood what they were talking about! The rhythms, the factions, the ideologies...
Us coming out of this chapter.
Yes, the people were nice. The idealists too, but I've had enough of this prison. I've had enough of the Panopticon.
She collapses onto the ground, sobbing.
I never should have joined these movements. It was all meaningless from the beginning. I want to leave this place. Go to Spain or France. Anywhere but here. I want to go back to Magdalena.
The jaguar releases her grip. Without a backward glance, Roberta leaves. The jailer steps back into the circular structure she knows as her only home.
Por la felicidad yo te canto y por la libertad yo te canto. Nada podrá parar ni vencer mi ser.
Under the night sky, she sees Komala Prison glowing like a brilliant bonfire. 3 days ago.
But how does literature make you feel?
As though I'm a kid looking through a kaleidoscope for the first time. Well, maybe that's not the best way to put it. Perhaps something a little more subtle.
The young writer drowns in the vortex of words as the blind woman walks away. She walks silently toward Kamala Prison, arriving at the dock hidden between cliffs and reefs. There, the prisoner who answers all questions awaits her arrival.
A ship, sailing to an unfamiliar land. A parable of the past and future. An era that once existed and is yet to come.
Caffeinated, it's not a lake, it's an ocean.
Is this the answer you've provided, Mr. Aleph?
No, Erd. You will have to find this answer yourself. No one can help you with this. No one.
I see.
No, you don't.
Thank you, Mr. Aleph. I will remember what you've told me.
The lesbians are on board. So the Platonic year whirls out new right and wrong. Whirls in the old instead. Hang on, I have to allow the phrase hit the blind woman, I guess. All men are dancers, and their tread goes out to the barbarous clangor of a gong. Oh, this was the phrase that at the start of the chapter. Yeats, 1919. Guys, what if that's not her mom, but like her from the future or some shit? Because we know the storm doesn't actually kill people. The storm takes people and like rebirths them almost in another era. So like, that doesn't have to be her mom. That could just be like her. In 1991, information moved at lightning speed thanks to technological advancements. Why are you— Oh, Santos! Why are you here? The Admiral sent me to deliver the latest updates. I think Igor has misunderstood something. Just because we're both here doesn't mean the Apostles' Brotherhood and Zeno are obliged to work together. Mr. Santos, you know the preacher said it before, each and every one of us is their subject. Why don't you just tell me what Igor really sent you here for? Zeno's intelligence officers intercepted a message from the Foundation's Buenos Aires branch. How typical of Zeno to do something like that. The message states that a fleet from the Foundation, including a battleship and a destroyer, has departed from the north and is heading south. So you're telling me those gray and white checkers are actually sending a fleet. The General wants you to speed up the transport of personnel and supplies to weaken the manpower of the Foundation's Buenos Aires branch as much as possible. Let me make this perfectly clear. I do not answer to him. But for the preacher and for them, I will fulfill my duty. Tell your Admiral that he doesn't need to worry about anything else. We'll prepare a proper welcome for the Foundation's feeble little fleet. Understood. Shit. Alright. You guys wanna okay, let me pull up this fucking post here real quick. We'll go over it together. Yeah, this was posted 8 days ago. And I'll pin a link here real quick, in case anybody would like to check it out themselves. If you're on Reddit, give them an upvote. Okay. Let me zoom in here. Alright. Okay, yeah. Alright. Some historical context, literary reference, and ramble on 2.6. Since this patch is a lot to take in, I'm making this post to provide some historical background. Actually, hang on 1 second. Okay. Some historical context, literary reference, and ramble on 2.6. Since this patch is a lot to take in, I'm making this post to provide some historical background, literary reference, and the theme at the heart of the story so that it can be a bit more digestible. This is a post from Aggravating Bird 690 on the Reverse 1999 subreddit from 8 days ago. Some historical context. In 1956, Juan Rulfo wrote Pedro Paramo. This is the most foundational text that uses magical realism and is the key influence on many Latin American writers such as Garcia Marquez. If you buy a copy of Pedro Paramo, you'll see Gabo talk about it quite extensively in the introduction. Carmen and Carlos, the driving force behind this literary feast between Spain and Latin America. Carmen Balcells and Carlos Barral, two Spanish literary agents, brought Latin American literature to Europe. They founded the Carmen Balcells Literary Agency in 1956, which became the driving force behind the Latin American literary boom. Okay, so this is the Carmen and Carlos he was talking about. Then a golden era began. It all kicked off with a scandal at a military academy, and soon the entire world was captivated by the story of a baby with a pig's tail from a faraway land. In 1963, Mario Vargas Llosa published The City and the Dogs. I'm not going to try to pronounce that. A novel about a scandal at a military academy. A few years later, in 1967, Garcia Marquez, so I'm assuming Garcia was named after this guy. Garcia Marquez published 100 Years of Solitude, which I was familiar with. Read it a long-ass time ago, though. Cien Años de Soledad. Interesting. Okay. The iconic tale of a baby born with a pig's tail in a faraway land. These two works mark the golden era of Latin American literature. But we mustn't forget the writers themselves. Fuentes, a towering figure of the Spanish-speaking world, and Cortázar, the writer ever seeing through the eyes of a child. There are also notable Latin American writers in this boom, figures like Julio Cortázar and Carlos Fuentes. There was a Julio there too, wasn't there? And of course, Mario and Gabo, key players in this literary revolution, will forever be etched in the annals of history. They corresponded regularly, always expressing deep admiration for each other's work. In fact, one even wrote a doctoral thesis on the other, friendship. That must have been a proud time for them. Gabo and Mario are good friends. Mario even wrote a thesis on Gabo's 100 Years of Solitude called History of a Dayside, which is the murder of a monarch, right? Not a monarch, a god, sorry. God, not monarch. Okay, yeah. One important note about the boom, young leftist intellectuals who are at the center of pushing societal change often do it through avant-garde art movements, like Cacaña did through The Circle in Vienna. For a Latin American boom writer like Gabo, Mario, Julio, and Carlos, the Cuban Revolution from 53 to 59 was a beacon that provided ideological fuel and institutional support to the boom, while boom writers helped shape the revolution's international image. Okay, so they were revolutionaries. The idealists were putting together a magazine, a collection of poems from Comala, our very own Casa de las Americas. After the revolution, Casa de las Americas, founded in 1959 to support young writers to publish their work, and hosted a literary prize. In other words, boom writers saw the Cuban Revolution as a rebuke to imperialism and a promise of a more socialist Latin America. But no matter how explosive the boom was, it couldn't escape its fleeting nature. With a second imprisonment and self-criticism of a Cuban poet, in came an inexplicable right hook and bang, silence. The military junta had gripped the poets' throats. The verse of the pioneers was cut off, their voices no longer heard. However, the year 68 to 71 is a key turning point for this boom. From the Mexican armed force invasion into National Autonomous University of Mexico, UNAM, the National Polytechnic Institute, IPN, and other universities in Mexico during the Tlatelolco massacre. Oh my God! To the Padilla affair in 71, where the Cuban poet Roberto Padilla, who was imprisoned by the Cuban government for his poem Fuera del Juego, he is forced to deliver a confession accusing both himself and others like him, including his wife, of being counter-revolutionary. This ended the honeymoon between the Latin American boom and revolutionary leftist movements, as a fair number of prominent Latin American, North American, and European intellectuals, including Sartre, Simone de Beauvoir, Susan Sontag, Fuentes, and Cortázar signed a letter protesting Cuba's actions, with Mario Vargas Llosa fully withdrawing his support for Fidel Castro's government. In 76, Mario punched Gabo with a right hook, forever ending their friendship. These two incidents marked the end of the Latin American literature boom. The Plain Condor from 75 to 83 sees the emergence of many military dictatorships across Latin America as a result in silencing even more Latin American writers. Oh, okay, so that was the punch that he was talking about. Okay, all right. The bond between two generations was broken, and for the younger of the two, the silence was intolerable. They looked for a new theme, a new idea, a new voice, a new method to speak on their disappointment, their horror, and their anger, and they became the new guerrillas. In 1975, Roberto Bolaño co-founded the infrarealism movement, fictionalized as visceral realism in The Savage Detectives in Mexico City. So it's the infrarealism movement that they were talking about. Okay. Operation Condor was one of those fucked up CIA plans that screwed the world. Oh, one of many. Why did I click this before? Infrarealism in Spanish, infrarealismo, is a poetic movement founded in Mexico City in 1975 by a group of 20 young poets, including Roberto Bolaño, Mario Santiago Papasquiaro, Jose Vicente Anaya. I'm not going to stumble my way through the rest of these names. The infrarealists, known as the Infras, took for their motto a phrase from the Chilean painter Roberto Mata, "blow the brains out of the cultural establishment." Rather than a defined style, the movement was characterized by the pursuit of a free and personal poetry, representative of its members' attitude towards life on the fringes of conventional society, in a similar manner to the Beat generations of the 1950s. Okay, so that was, okay, infrarealism was the name of the movement. Okay. Their motto, blow the brains out of the cultural establishment. The movement saw figures like Octavio Paz. Oh, Octavio was named after this person. Then the most celebrated Mexican poet, as symbols of institutionalized poetry and gatekeeping, aligned with power and prestige. That's why she was positioned as the, like, antagonist in that story. It's why the visceral realists in Chapter 9 hated Octavia's guts. Okay! Okay, alright, cool. Though Octavio Paz initially spoke out against the... I'm sorry, I'm not going to fumble my way through that again. Against the massacre in 68, his later career saw him embraced by the literary and political elite. Chapter 9 explores the shift through non-linear storytelling. We see how Octavia denounces the die of Babylon in the past when Erd was there, then fully supports it when she sees when she holds power during present time. Oh. Okay, so that, even her pivoting like that was commentary, or not commentary, but an echo of what happened in the past. Interesting. Okay. This, I don't think I said anything, but that did strike me in a weird way, where she was like, so, you're crazy, why are you relying on this dice for everything, you're insane, and then she uses it later on. Okay, interesting. No one okay, yeah, so he did say 77, no one knows it, no one says it, but we all know, visceral realism died in 1977. I want to leave this place, go to Spain or France, anywhere but here. I want to go back to Magdalena. There is no better word to describe the infrarealism movement other than failure. A brief timeline. In 73, Bolaño returns to Chile to support Allende, but is arrested during the coup. He is later released because the guards recognized him as a former classmate. In 74, he came back to Mexico City and co-founds infrarealism. In 77, he moved to Spain due to a mix of economic, political, and artistic factors. He needed stable work that he could not find in Mexico. He is disillusioned with how the Latin American revolutionary movements ended up creating military junta that mirror the corruption of the last, and he wanted to shift from writing poetry to novels, since novels are more financially sound than poetry. In 76 to 77, there's a very dark period for Latin America due to the military dictatorship in Paraguay, Chile, and Argentina. In Argentina, the coup d'etat in Argentina is started by Jorge Videla, overthrow Isabel Perón as president, and install a military... I'm gonna look this up. Military junta. Okay, so it's just another name for a dictatorship? Military junta is a type of leadership structure in a military dictatorship in which a committee of military officers rules in unison. The junta typically includes the leader of each branch of the military and sometimes the state police. Okay, so it's like a group of people instead of like a dictator with like a military force? Because it's a committee of officers. Kind of like a not like a critarchy, because a critarchy is ruled by judges. But like a junta is am I pronouncing that right? Junta? I'm gonna just say junta. A junta is where it's a committee of officers that rules at the same time. Okay. All right. Co-op dictatorship. There you go. They also began the dirty war, La Guerra Sucia, a brutal campaign against anyone perceived as leftist or subversive, with 30,000 people getting disappeared. Pregnant women were killed after giving birth, and their babies were sent to loyalist regimes. The state-sponsored terror also extended to teachers, students, journalists, and unionists as intellectuals were disappeared. Mothers and grandmothers of Plaza de Mayo was formed to look for the people who got disappeared, and some of the original members of mothers and grandmothers of Plaza de Mayo are still fighting to find their missing relatives. In Chile, Pinochet abolished. I should know how to pronounce this name. Abolished all political parties and practically demolished Chilean democracy. Orlando Letelier, a former Allende minister, is assassinated by a car bomb in Washington, D.C., orchestrated by Pinochet's secret police. Chilean jails and torture centers were overflowing as thousands remained detained without trial and dissidents kept disappearing. In Paraguay, Stroessner, nearing the end of his term, pushed to amend the constitution to infinitely extend his term, and his government lasted for 35 years. His regime also systematically arrested, tortured, and disappeared leftist students, campesinos, and opposition figures. They also helped coordinate the Plan Condor. Fucking CIA! Exiled Argentinians and Chileans were kidnapped in Paraguay and sent back to their home countries to be tortured or killed. I really recommend the movie I'm Still Here, Ainda Estoy Aquí. It really shows you the psychological horror that these military dictatorships have on people. 2024! It's a recent movie. Shit, okay. Cool, that's going on the list. There is a quote in the movie that I can't remember exactly on the top of my head, but to paraphrase it, when you disappeared our loved ones, you might have killed them, but you condemn the rest of us for eternity. No one knows when inforealism ended, as it is a slow and gradual decay, but with all this in mind, it really ended in 1977. On themes, given Latin America's turbulent history marked by colonization, exploitation, and cycles of violence, it's no surprise that many Latin American writers are haunted by a profound sense of existential solitude, of being cut off from their history and identity. On paper, these events may appear as mere historical facts, but treating them as fact fails to convey the overwhelming madness and suffering that defines the region's experience. This is where fiction, especially magical realism, comes in. The power of magical realism lies in its ability to dissolve the boundary between reality and fiction, blending the mundane with magic to create a framework that expresses what history cannot. Through the disorienting effect of this mixing, the story can communicate the fragmentation, the sorrow, and the solitude that shaped history. Okay, so solitude was also a very pervasive theme as well, yeah. In this way, magical realism becomes a kind of literary compartmentalization, gathering these dispersed, broken historical experiences and channeling them into a narrative form that can carry both truth and fiction. That's why approaching such stories purely as logical puzzles can be reductive. It misses the point, not because analysis is wrong, but because the text is meant to be lived and felt, not deciphered. The theme of fate also runs deep through these stories. Latin America, having endured centuries of colonial domination and systemic violence, often appears trapped in a cycle, condemned to repeat its history. And yet, literature is seen by many as a possible escape, a way to rewrite destiny, to break through solitude and reclaim memory, voice, and future. The Panopticon being a place where intellectuals gather, but it is also a prison and a sanatorium meant for dangerous criminals, is such a beautiful analogy because it mirrors the duality of a university. It is a space where we seek knowledge that promises to liberate the mind, yet it also teaches us how to conform, how to internalize the structures and limitations of modern society. In this tension between freedom and discipline, it's no surprise that such institutions become fertile ground for radical leftist thought, born from the very contradiction of being taught how to question the world while being shaped to function within it. Aleph, Panopticon, and the Die of Babylon. So if you read Borges' short story... Oh wait, he had a short story named The Aleph and the Lottery of Babylon? So they weren't even being subtle with that shit? Are you kidding me right now? Wait, how long is this? Okay, it's 11 pages. It's a bit too much to read on stream because it's single space. Are you serious? Are you kidding me right now? Oh my god, I wouldn't even fucking be surprised if there's, I'm seeing, like, Greek names here. I wouldn't be fucking surprised if this ties back into the fucking Apiron arc again. Jesus Christ. Okay. The Aleph explores the idea that omniscience, the ability to see everything at once across all time and space, could empower the poet to create a poetry that encompasses the totality of existence. In the story, Aleph is a point in space that contains all other points, allowing the narrator to see the entire universe simultaneously. So I kind of understand now why him being human, so like even him being human was like integral to the story. Like the fact that he was human and not an arcanist was a point in and of itself and wasn't just like a random choice. They made him human deliberately to hammer this point home. It's subtle if you have no idea. Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Like, it was subtle to me because, again, the reason why we're reading this is because a lot of this shit went completely over my head. So I imagine the majority, I don't think it's a far cry to say the majority of people interacting with the story will not recognize half of the fucking references, a fraction of the references that they're making. So, it's subtle, it was subtle to me because I'm like, okay, I can tell they're clearly drawing experience and inspiration from other places, and they're clearly referencing things here that I have never been exposed to. So it was subtle to me in that respect. But if you're familiar with the subject, obviously you're gonna be like fucking Leonardo DiCaprio pointing at every single thing that they name. It's like, this is just a literary reference. So like, yeah. However, the poet who is relying on the Aleph to write his poetry is only able to find clarity and win second prize in the literary competition after the Aleph is destroyed. In the end, it asks whether total knowledge leads to deeper truth or to the death of meaning, or poetry lies in the beauty of ignorance rather than totality. Oh, okay, that's what the monologue about ignorance that the guy was talking about might have been referencing. To invent an idiom that is generic, all-encompassing yet precise, my poem will be written in this language, leaving no room for doubt or misinterpretation. In the trial Ship of Fool, that was another of the narrator's ones. The narrator also plays with this idea, claiming that it is knowledge that drove people to madness rather than ignorance. Madness is a side effect of the sedative that is knowledge. As long as those on land continue to consume it, the ship will never be short on recruits. Lottery of Babylon. It's a literary reference, always has been. The Venn diagram of Latin American literary students and gacha players is a sliver, and they made a video game. Alright, Lottery of Babylon, on the other hand, is about a fictional society. Here, I'm gonna drop, it looks like it's public, so I'm gonna drop links here to the Lottery of Babylon and to the Aleph by Borges, in case anybody wants to read it. The Lottery of Babylon, on the other hand, is about a fictional society where a lottery becomes more than just a game. It becomes the total structure of life governing every aspect of existence. The beauty of the story comes from viewing the lottery as an sorry, I didn't process that at all. Give me 1 second. Lottery of Babylon, fictional society, lottery becomes more than just a game, it becomes the structure of life governing every aspect. Okay, got it. The beauty of the story comes from viewing the lottery as an allegory, people giving the lottery/die power because they believe that since it's random, it's truly fair, and there's no point in questioning it. So that entire segment was a reference to the story. This parallels how in our time, people are often subjects to random, impersonal systems, job markets, economic crises, healthcare access, visa lotteries, or legal decisions. These systems feel arbitrary and is disconnected from the merit of justice. The company that runs the lottery represents the faceless institution that controls individual fate without transparency or accountability. Its decisions are secretive and feel seemingly random, but its influence over our life is total, much like how real-world entities such as surveillance states, multinational corporations, or even AI. In Argentina during the 1900s, mandatory military service is determined by lottery. A lot of people who fought in the Malvinas War were boys between 18 and 21 years old, most stuck in the military because of bad luck. There was a study about the effect of lottery drafting on crime rate in Argentina. Results that study cohorts from 58 to 62 that there is a strong correlation between being a draftee and being a criminal. One's life can really spiral out of control due to bad luck, and there's a link to the study of military conscription. Okay. Comala Prison, the Panopticon, plays with an idea that is central to the theme of the game: the conflict between an individual searching for meaning, the prisoner's obsession with poetry and literature, and the prison as a structure of total surveillance, a modern panopticon that exerts control over their lives. The resolution to this existential conflict lies in finding harmony between these two modes of existence, a reconciliation that Aleph is ultimately seeking. Aleph himself can be read as an allegory for two distinct yet overlapping figures. On one hand, he represents an AI-like entity, omniscient and endlessly rash. Holy shit, our ChatGPT parallels! They were actually right on the money! He represents an AI-like entity, omniscient and endlessly rational, capable of processing all information. On the other hand, he also represents the old jaded Latin American intellectual who went mad with trying to make sense of the knowledge of history. Like Octavio Paz, who, rather than directly participating in leftist revolutionary movements, chose to explore Mexican identity and history through literature, using metaphor, myth, and philosophical language in works like The Labyrinth of Solitude to make sense of Mexico's existential solitude. Just like he wrote in the Tin Soldiers of Sao Paulo, the greatness of Latin America lies in its richness, and from that riches comes misfortune, gnawed by insatiable greed. One man's poverty is another's feast. Suffering nourishes joy. They are like riverbanks, clearly divided. This duality, this paradox, isn't it precisely the kind of question we should be posing through literature? The thud of bone against her service interrupts her. Julio is banging his head against the wall. Okay. Interesting. Either way, the omniscient that comes from knowledge ultimately obscures meaning rather than reveals them. This is a crisis that is found at the heart of Vienna and modern society. Will progressive intellectual inquiry help us find direction, or are they simply another futile attempt to impose order destined to fail like the dream of enlightenment in Vienna or the worship of the transcendental in Epiron? I didn't tie it back to the Vienna themes. I was too focused on the Toxic Eries. So I should go back and revisit that arc, because I think I missed a lot of things in there as well. Recoleta, Amalfitano, and the rise and fall of sanity. If I have to be frank, the theme of this chapter is also the theme of Roberto Bolaño's The Savage Detectives, which is, what's the point of literature? You see this question asked multiple times by Erd, who herself is trying to understand the reality of her experience in Ushuaia. History shows us that literature was once a revolutionary tool in Latin America, a way to reclaim identity, confront colonial legacies, and make sense of a fractured past. Leftist intellectuals used it to support progressive ideologies and give voice to revolutionary movements across the globe. But with the rise of military dictatorships throughout the region, many of these writers and poets were either silenced, disappeared, or violently repressed. And even when not met with direct violence, they were often erased from the literary canon or ignored by official history. All signs seem to point to failure, or at least futility, and yet young people continue to be drawn to literature with mere mad devotion. Why? One of the things that the chapter does is its NPCs are very much alter egos of real poets and writers. Oh my god! They're actually, like, identical! Roberto Bolaño, Octavio Paz, Julio Cortázar. Garcia, I'm a bit unsure on this one, since he could either be Garcia Marquez or Garcia Mardero from Savage Detective, Garcia Juan Ponce's alter ego. Eduardo Galeano, Pablo Neruda. It's the same picture! Congratulations on her transition. That's a joke. Right. Okay, here we go. The fictionalization of real-life poets and writers is one of Bolaño's signatures. In The Savage Detectives, I'm just gonna open that here. Okay. In The Savage Detectives, nearly every character is an alter ego of someone Bolaño knew, be they his friends, enemies, critics, and of course himself. Oh, okay, so he did that himself as well. So it's also commentary on that. Or not commentary. I shouldn't say commentary. A reflection of what he also did. There's a metaphysical riddle in Savage Detectives. A poet is lost in a city on the verge of collapse, with no money or friends or anyone to turn to. And of course, he neither wants nor plans to turn to anyone. For several days, he roams the city and the country, eating nothing or eating scraps. He's even stopped writing. Or he writes in his head. In other words, he hallucinates. All signs point to an imminent death. His drastic disappearance foreshadows it, and yet the poet doesn't die. How is he saved? What of the three Garcias? Garthrias! Stop! The novel hinted the answer with a passage from Dante's Inferno, from Dante Inferno's Canto, what is that? 81? That's 81, right? What thou lovest well remains. For Bolaño, who saw his writing as a love letter or a letter of farewell to his generation, The Savage Detectives becomes a way of honoring the lost generation of visceral realists. It's an attempt to preserve them, because what is loved will remain. Similarly, Recoleta writes about Amalfitano and the ghosts in her story to tell people about her town. Through literature, she seeks to historicize and immortalize the people and places she loved, capturing them before they are forgotten. This brings us to the central conflict of the story. Aleph, in his obsessive search for answers, comes to see Recoleta and her story not as ends in themselves, but as tools in his pursuit of ultimate truth. In service of this goal, he is willing to subject the prisoners to endless suffering, even fracturing himself into multiple personas until he no longer remembers who he truly is. In doing so, Aleph turns Recoleta's novel into a kind of dictatorship, one ruled not by violence but by the idea of fate. For Recoleta, and perhaps for Bolaño and many Latin American revolutionary writers who are forgotten by history, the worst fate imaginable is not erasure, but to have their love letters used by the very systems of power that harm the people they love. Fuck. The Savage Detective's final chapter is about the search for the lost poetess of Latin American culture. Cesara Tinayero, Arturo Belano, Ulysses Lima, Garcia Mardero, and Lupe went to the Sonoran Desert situated between the Mexican and U.S. border to escape from Lupe's pimp and look for the lost visceral realist poetess, Cesara Tinayero. Well, if no one has anything to say, I could always retell the story of my fateful journey across the Mexican border. So that was just a direct reference to this. That was just a direct reference to that. They found Cesara, but are caught up with by Lupe's pimp, and a violent confrontation happens, which results in the death of Cesaria. Visceral realism dies together with Cesaria. Arturo Bolaño and Ulysses Lima travel the world to search for a way to revive visceral realism, while Garcia Mardero stays behind in Santa Teresa as he is swallowed by the desert itself. The one leaning against the sunken ship, showing no signs of struggle or sorrow, Garcia, the seawater has flooded his windpipe and reddened his eyes, yet there he is staring blankly at the shore. He's in his home base. He holds no hope for forgiveness from his enemies, not in the slightest. He's a one-man army fighting only for himself alone. The irony at the heart of Don Quixote. In his Caracas speech, Bolaño wrote, "And this comes to mind because, to a great extent, everything that I have ever written is a love letter or a letter of farewell to my own generation. those of us who were born in the 50s and who chose at a given moment to take up arms, though in this case it would be more correct to say militancy, and gave the little that we had, or the greater thing that we had, which was our youth, to our cause we believed to be the most generous of the world's causes, and that was, in a sense, though in truth it wasn't. And that was, in a sense, though in truth it wasn't. Needless to say, we fought tooth and nail, but we had corrupt bosses, cowardly leaders, an apparatus of propaganda that was worse than that of a leper colony. We fought for parties that, had they emerged victorious, would have immediately sent us to a forced labor camp. We fought and poured all our generosity into an ideal that had been dead for over 50 years. And some of us knew that. How are we not going to know that if we had read Trotsky or were Trotskyites? But nevertheless we did it, and because we were stupid and generous, as young people are, giving everything and asking for nothing in return. And now nothing is left of those young people, those who died in Bolivia, died in Argentina or in Peru, and those who survived went to Chile or Mexico to die, and the ones they didn't kill there, they killed later in Nicaragua, in Colombia, in El Salvador. All of Latin America is sown with the bones of these forgotten youths, and this is what moves Cervantes to choose arms over letters. His companions, too, were dead, or old and abandoned in misery and neglect. To choose was to choose youth, to choose the defeated and those who had nothing left, and this is what Cervantes does. He chooses youth, and even in this melancholy weakness, in this crack in his soul, Cervantes is the most lucid, for he knows that writers don't need anyone to praise their occupation. We praise it ourselves. Cervantes wrote Don Quixote specifically to mock the chivalric literature of his time and to warn young people of the folly that came with such pursuit. In doing so, Cervantes picks up the pen and pursues literature himself. This beautiful irony is perhaps illustrated by the theme of the story. In The Savage Detective, Bolaño also writes about the futility of literature, how it destroys the lives of generations upon generations of poets, exiles, youth chasing meaning through art. He writes of dreamers who wander the world searching for meaning but never find it. But young people are stupid and generous. They will intentionally ignore these warning signs and go on the same quixotic quest of meaning that destroyed the generation before them, much like how Bolaño ignores Cervantes' warning and pursues the failed endeavor himself. The ending of the chapter marks the definitive collapse of the Latin American literary boom, this time for good. Alepht's experiment has failed. The supposed literary utopia the prisoners longed for, a world beyond the confines of society, is revealed to be just another prison. Disillusioned, they choose to perish in the fire in a dance with madness, but Recoleta, out of love for these poets and dreamers, runs back to the burning prison to try and save them, because what lovest well remains. Where Roberta, Bolaño's alter ego, abandons the panopticon and the visceral realist movement after the death of Cesaria Tinayero, in 2.6, Cesaria may have died, but the ghost of her life, Recoleta is the ghost of Cesaria. Okay, alright. Alright. Thank you for connecting that dot for me, because I did not connect it. In 2.6, Cesaria may have died, but the ghost of her life, Recoleta, still remains. She returns not just as a fictional character, but as the ghost of Latin American literature itself, returning again and again to write love letters that historicize the forgotten poets. For me, this is the true beauty of Chapter 6. It rejects the metaphysical death of inforealism at the end of Savage Detective. Even if the physical movement dies, Cesaria Tinayero lives on as a Recoleta, haunting reality, and the next generation, just like the last, will continue chasing that ghost, driven by the same madness. This chapter is like a literary hauntology, where the echo of the literature that influences the game is never truly gone. The past lingers as a ghost, like poetry in the ruins waiting for some young and foolish one to start the chase all over again. The story feels more than just a love letter to Latin American literature, but a love letter to young people who are stuck in uncertain times. That is to say, holy shit, sorry, give me a second. Jesus Christ. That is to say, it is a love letter to every generation of youth in China and the rest of the world, be they past, present, or future. A tribute to those who dare to dream, to answer the call of madness, damn the disillusionment that comes thereafter. Oh fuck, I can't believe I'm crying over a Reddit summary on a chapter of a fucking gacha game. Oh fuck, okay. Oh shit, okay, sorry. Recoleta, you read about literature, Doorside Beggar. It is a dangerous and futile calling, but I still believe in it. P.S. I really didn't mean for this to be an analysis post, but rather some simple food for thought that can help people appreciate it more. But before long, it turned out quite long, and I didn't get to talk about all of the literary references the game makes, maybe in another post. I really like this in Chapter 1.7 specifically, because of how relevant and timeless these chapters are, and I still can't comprehend how gacha games can even have this kind of story. I used to be young and stupid, and joined protests on my campus, so characters like Recoleta and Kakanya really speak to me. Since I wrote this on the spot, there are a lot of things I didn't touch on, and I'm contemplating making a video essay for 2.6 that is a proper analysis. Oh my fucking god, please do. Please do. I'm gonna write a comment. Like, please do. Holy shit. When you play a D&D game, you basically advance the story by rolling the dice. The act of rolling the dice is very much like writing the story itself, and it's why there's so much D&D references in this version. In Recoleta's novel, The Rise and Fall of Sanity, is a reference to Bolaño's novel, The Third Reich, which is based on a war game called The Rise and Fall of the Third Reich. Okay. Oh, god. Anyway, out of all the characters in Recoleta's novel, everyone has a real-life counterpart. The paracausality researcher with the suitcase is Verton, the banker is the jailer, the blind weaver is Erd. However, there is no confirmation for who the Doorside Beggar is, so who do you guys think the Doorside Beggar is? Oh my god, hang on, I gotta give them a cringe award. Here we go. Sure, whatever. Oh fuck, I need to put in my shit. Hang on, I'm gonna do this in another. I'm gonna type in Google Play in another. Google Pay, rather. Oh god. No, allow pop-ups. Allow pop-ups. Pop-ups, fine. Oh, Jesus. I don't know why that got to me so bad. I haven't even fucking read any of these stories. I just think, oh fuck, I'm sorry. I just think it's really poignant that, they chose to, like, adapt this story, and like, Blue Pog is a Chinese company, right? So, like, not only did they, like, adapt the story, but the story was written in Chinese and then, like, translated and localized so profoundly in English. Like, I'm assuming they did a really good job, right? So, like, there's a reason they did this. Oh, fuck! I'm gonna throw up! Okay. Alright. Have a good night, Decaf. Oh, shit. Oh god. Okay, well, we're done this. We still have half an hour to bingo. I don't know what we'll do for half an hour, but we are due for an ad break, so we'll do the last ad break of the stream. Dick around for half an hour, and then we'll raid into bingo. Give me the time to fucking stop crying. Okay, I'll see you in 3 minutes. Oh, boy. Oh, Christ. I don't know, something gets to me about, like, the act of, like, using literature to immortalize one's memories, I guess, you know? Because, like, oh god, if I think about it too hard, I'm gonna fucking break down again. Because if you think about it, like, he wrote that story to immortalize the sacrifices of the people he knew and the lessons he learned from pursuing that movement, right? And, like, adapting the story in such a way, and the people who adapted the story adapting it in such a way means it worked. Right? It means it worked. Like, not that they're, like, the sole people who have ever, who are still doing this, who are still reading his stuff in modern day times, but I mean, like, they're further preserving that memory that he wanted, and, exposing, like, new audiences to it, because I can tell you right now, if it wasn't for this chapter of Reverse 1999, I fucking wouldn't know shit about any of this. Because, you know, I truly, unfortunately, I don't read a lot, and I don't study literature at all, and this would have just gone completely over my head, right? Oh, God. Ugh. Bow Hody! Oh, Jesus. Oh. But yeah, the post isn't pinned. This was 8 days ago. Let me see if they've written anything else since then. Okay. Social links. Oh, they've got a Twitter. Hang on, I'm gonna move it over here in case. Oh, okay, cool. Hang on. I gotta follow him. I'm gonna follow him. Wait, hang on. I'm gonna retweet their, retweet their analysis here. This was an amazing analysis, which made me welcome back, everybody, which made me appreciate this chapter all that much more. I cried reading it. Positive. You mentioned possibly making a video essay. Please do. Thank you for the write-up. Send tweet. Real question, why do you have so much pinned on your task? Because I use everything. Because I actually don't know what this is. What is this? Oh, it's a resource box. Okay, that I don't have to use it. So this is just a file folder, so I can open up file folders without having to click 17 million times. This is Task Manager. This is Opera, it's Discord. This is Bitwarden, which is a password manager. That's Spotify. Calculator, this is a timer that I set for things. I have a bad memory, so if I'm in the middle of something and I need to wait like 5 or 10 minutes before revisiting it, I will forget. So I have I have a little timer here just to pop up and remind me that I'm waiting on something. This is Photoshop, which I use all the time for memes. This is OBS. This is my Stream Deck. Yeah, it's just my Stream Deck that I need anytime I stream, so I have it pinned. This is Handbrake. Handbrake is a fantastic little lightweight program there. If you ever need to, like, compress video files to send over Discord or to send on Twitter or whatever, fantastic. Cannot recommend Handbrake enough. It's free. I have donated to them, but it is free, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, no, it's a fantastic video compressor and video editor. I shouldn't say editor. It doesn't edit things. It just it converts it, and it converts video files and compresses video files, and it's really, really, really good. This is CyberGhost. That's my VPN. This is a Python script that allows you to use your clipboard to read kanji. So if I ever run across kanji that I don't know, like for instance, Here, let me try to pull something up. I'll show you how it works. It's really handy. But it is also something that I use all of the time. Give me 1 second. Let's pop this in here, pop this in here. Where do I find random kanji? Shit. No, that's nothing there. That's stuff that I posted. I wouldn't have posted random kanji. That's just Maruki. That's just a lot of Maruki. That's like, nope, that's just more Maruki. This is, oh shit. That's Korean. That's Maruki. Is that Japanese? No. Have I retweeted some Japanese? No, now I want to show you guys how it works. Give me a second. I need to stop crying anyway. Have I seen any fan art recently? Oh, here we go. Okay, alright, so check this out, right? So I got this. So pretend this wasn't here, right? And I don't know what the fuck this says. So I pop open this Python script. It's called Manga OCR. It's free. Download it. It loads. Give it a second. Okay, reading from clipboard. So you take your clipboard or whatever your snipping tool is, and then you highlight, right? And you clip it. And then it reads the text. So you go into Google Translate, and you post it. See? It's basically just OCR for kanji. Or, not just kanji, for any Japanese text. So it helps with reading a lot. And it also helps me learn kanji. In case I forget. Very handy. So I use that a lot. This is my snipping tool, which I use for screenshots. Hang on. What else? That's Voice Meter. I have that open all the time because all my audio feed goes through it. This is MS Paint, which is faster to open than Photoshop if you needed to crop a screenshot or screenshot or something. That's Balatro. That's my Hoyoverse launcher. That's Steam. That's Reverse 1999. This is the emulator that I use for Magia, etc. No, this is the emulator that I use for Blue Archive and Arknights, and this is the emulator I use for Magia, etc., and that's Notepad. So I do use all of these on a near daily basis, and that's why I have so many things. But yeah, let me link Manga OCR. It's very... Manga OCR. Here we go. It's huge. Oh boy. Okay, I feel better now. We're good. Okay, mark that down. It's the 3rd time I have cried on stream in 3 years. 3rd time, I think. I think it's the 3rd time, right? The first time was the very, very ending of Persona 5 Royal when Sojiro tears up after Joker leaves. That hit me. And the second time was that one scene from Edith Finch that was like my life. And I've never seen that experience ever portrayed anywhere before. Not saying they were the first to do it, because I don't experience a lot of media. That was the first time I've ever seen my experience portrayed like that. And it hit way too fucking hard. And now this fucking... Okay, yeah. So, Veg has pants shitting. Okay? I have crying on stream. And I just hit my thrice today. Oh, fuck. Alright. Christ. Fuck, I kinda just want to pull her by virtue of who she is now. Like, just solely based on who she is, I kind of want to try it. Oh, but I can't. No, because I do want to pull Aleph, because I think he's funny. Fucking weirdo. I could fix him. I mean, this is a regular limited ban, well, quote-unquote limit. It's a regular character banner, so pulls would be carried over. Oh, and her banner name literally spoiling the entire thing. A writing writer written. Fucking clever. I didn't even notice that. Okay, we'll do a 10 pull. We don't have enough to guarantee anyway. Either her or Aleph. But we'll do a 10 pull because she's cool. And now they put Tuesday and Willow special banners alongside this chapter. Okay, no, let's 5-star. 2. Hi, X. Okay, we'll do one more, because if we get her in 20 pulls, that'd be tight. If we get her in 20 pulls, that'd be tight. No, we got blue balled. Wait, how many? Okay, wait, hang on. I tossed 30 pulls at Astra's banner. I tossed 30 pulls at Astra's banner because I told myself if she showed up in 30 pulls, it'd be funny. And I wouldn't commit more than 30 pulls. So we'll do one more and then tap out. And then this pity count will carry over to Alice banner. Oh, boy. Okay, we'll do one more. We'll do one more. Ah, no such luck. The die has forsaken me. That's okay, I'm not worried about it. What does she even do? What meta does she fall into
Rest
anyway?
time is also included in work time. Both often.
Is she impromptu? No, she's not impromptu. She's fucking... God, I don't even know what meta she is. I don't even know if I could use her. Look at her in her little story thing. No, not that one. Burst damage, Moxie, passion drain, 50 seconds of passion drain the target. After the attack, attacker gains. Okay. Alright. Oh, is she just ult? She lets you use ult without spending Moxie. Damn! Hang on. Let's look up Pride Room real quick. Because I know that I don't have characters for Alepht's,
I hate rainy days.
For Alepht's
no parties, no outings, only getting stuck with these morons to play some board games.
Dude.
Alright, take a card.
Don't shit talk on board games, man. Hang on. Let me look up a Pride one real quick. That's my day's page. That's not what I wanted. Because I know for a fact I don't have any members of Alepht's team. I don't have anything for Aleph. Okay, let's read this. Here's a link. Yes! Oh. As per patch 2.8, S plus carry unlikely to use relevance anytime soon. Top represses damage numbers, blah, 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 blah. I mean, I do have damage dealers though. I'm not sweating on damage dealers. Incantation, literary, metaphysical team, debuff, Euphoria Melania. Oh! Okay! Her team names Infinite Bladeworks, Aura Farming, The Wandering Knight, and the Pet Army. Don Quixote de Latin America. Absolute literature. I love that, actually. I do have Melania. I have full invested in Melania. I don't have Lupero, though. Melania's Euphoria version, standard hypercarry Recoleta setup, splits AP between Recoleta and Melania to keep a passion drain, quickly stack fixed pawn on all allies, facilitate. I ended up liking Lupera, like, a lot more than Aleph, which is interesting. I don't dislike Aleph, but Recoleta just, she made me cry! She made me cry on stream, okay? So, like, fuck you. Let me see. Facilitated by Lupero, who, due to Recoletta's ult cheating, needs only spend 1 AP per array cycle. I'm sure she's worth pulling without having Lupero, right? Go for her, do it. Force out any heal. Budget team is perfect when you want some heavy replies to your enemies. This budget team is perfect for when you want to write some heavy replies to your enemies while feeling like your hand is a gif of a pen on fire. Is Name Days, is he welfare? No, he's not welfare. He's releasing next patch. He's not welfare. I don't know if I'm pulling in 2.7. Isn't that like Monster Girl coming in like 2.7? Like the big one? Yeah, her. I don't know what her deal with is, but she's hot. Look at her. Oh, why is it tiny? I don't know what the fuck is going on with her, but she looks badass. Wreck Mel Pickles Fatutu is my team. Oh, that's your mineral team? Okay, okay, okay. We pull for the revolution, I suppose. I don't, can we get to pity right now? We're at 30. We might be able to touch it. We might be able to just touch pity. Like, give it a little smooch on the cheek there. I do have Melania. Oh, that's a little bit early, actually. Guys, do we win the 50-50? Guys, is the spirit of Borges in the room with us right now? Guys. Is the spirit of the Latin American boom in the room with us now? Oh, fuck. Alright. Let's see what happens.
Fabuloso. Now I have an experience even more noteworthy than spending
Borges
2
is
weeks
here!
hiding out in a university bathroom,
His spirit
being
is
carried
here!
around in a suitcase.
Visceral realism never dies! The infrarealist movement never dies! Oh, fuck. Oh, that's funny. Oh, she came home way earlier than I thought. I still got 16 pulls.
Where's the lie? The party was very successful. Even the host has sneaked.
I think that was. I'm happy with that decision. I don't mind that. I don't have any fucking materials though. I was mid farming when we started.
See? Clappy is greeting you. Press this button.
Come on in, friend. Doors always open.
Already spent during half anniversary, so I definitely don't want to spy. I've also spent a lot in Hoyoverse games the past couple of months. Some of which was a very generous gift from Nim. So like I definitely don't want to swipe.
Abrió la puerta de golpe.
But
Llevaba una expresión que sugería que se había desconectado de la realidad en la que estábamos.
You go Latin American Venti!
Hey there. Is there something you need?
Next update is 2.7, yeah. Well, I guess we still have like 10 minutes. Let's farm for her a little bit. How many does she need? She needs 5 more. So I think a couple runs of this.
I can't wait anymore!
I just said it's 4, didn't I? No, whatever.
Wow, really? Uh-oh.
I'm excited for this. Oh, so Antarctica isn't the next update? Antarctica not the next update?
Hooray!
Space. Oh yeah, Space. Name Day gets released with the Space update? Because I didn't want to grab a copy of him, but. What does Aleph do anyway? I have no fucking idea.
When all the timelines and storylines converge,
Hell if I know.
we'll have to leave everything behind and move forward once again. I'm just glad that this time you'll be here with me, mi amiga.
Also, I didn't say it, but like her voice actress, all the voice actors fucking popped off. Everyone's voice actors fucking popped off this update. Hang on, give me a hot second. Let me pull up Pride one real quick. I think they have a thing on Aleph already. Hang on, give me a second. I don't want to play Etheria Restart. Fuck. Here, let's read over Aleph's kit real quick. I just wanted to pull him because he looked good. Even after being stunted chat GPT, or I guess transcendent chat GPT. It's still a wood in my book, I'm sorry. Aleph is a 6-star support character designed specifically for use in inspiration teams. I keep getting inspiration and That other one I keep mentioning. I keep getting them mixed up. As a new 6-star unit, you might expect complex mechanics. He's quite easy to understand. Okay, easy to slide to any inspiration team. Okay, but where are his teams? Okay, let me just actually finish this. Reading this. His Insight 1 increases Eureka at the start of every round. Additionally, when an ally with clarification uses an incantation, he buffs this round's Impromptu 2 incantation by increasing the number of times it attacks and granting the ability to inflict interpretation on the enemy. The status reduces the enemy's damage taken, and for each additional stack, it reduces mental defense and damage taken by an extra 2%. Extremely valuable because Impromptu incantation mechanic functions as a burst. You use cards of inspiration to trigger it and deal damage to random single targets, so Aleph directly enhances the damage potential. Yeah, I don't have any inspiration teams. Because I think Barcarola is like the premier inspiration unit. So if you have her, you use oh fuck, hang on. Reverse 1999. Oh yeah, Matilda gets a rework, I think. Oh, that didn't help. HP lost, rank up. Oh, there's a bullet meta? I think this might be an old one. Yeah, 6 months ago. I'm just gonna go into Google Images real quick. Yeah, this is inspiration. I know this because of, hang on, I need to pull something up. Oh wait, who the fuck is adding me right now? Don't add me right now. Hang on, give me 1 second. There's a meme here. I knew about inspiration teams because of all the Aleph memes. Because everyone in the inspiration teams are like girly pop, and then Aleph's there. And all the memes are like, who the fuck invited this guy? Hang on. Reverse 999 channel isn't that active. I should be able to find it pretty quick. Where are you? I'm scrolling. We're scrolling. Okay, maybe I lied. Maybe it is really far back. Oh, I guess maybe. Okay, I think the memes came out when he first dropped in CN. That's why they're so far back. Here we go. Yeah, like look at this. Look at the moe gap of this team, eh? Shit's crazy. Scrolling. Shit, I can't find it. Hang on. I'm just gonna... Aleph reverse 1999 meme. There were a ton of these that dropped. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, here's another one. No, not bookmark, you goddamn. Like, why is he here? Who invited this man's? So I knew I'd be pulling him for, like, no reason. It was really funny when he first dropped, and people realized what he was for. It's like, bro, you good? Someone needs to, like, paint his nails or something. Like, what the fuck? It's insane that Aleph isn't the scariest thing in that lineup. Yeah, actually, he's, like, probably, like, the least threatening. He's probably the least threatening out of... Well, I guess he's a little bit more threatening than Barker. Well, we don't know the extent of Matilda's power. We only get one fucking portrait for her a year, so we don't know how strong she is yet. Yeah, braid his hair. So true. Oh, I need to do so much fucking farming. I've got so many characters to build, bro. Oh my god, I have no fucking money! I have no money. It's okay, I've got her up there. I also have to build Simulise, because I don't know how the fuck she works, but I know she's like a core on like a bunch of teams in the future. I'm never escaping it. We're never escaping. You know, you guys want to do Limbo for like 7 minutes? Because I can't raid in until we're live. I mean, I can, but I don't want to. We can wait like 7 minutes until Veg is live. I heard you got emotionally suplexed. I did cry. I did cry over the spirit of Latin American authors. Yes, I did. I did. I had my own personal thrice. Indeed.
Who ate beans?
Oh fuck. Alright. Oxy +1, and you don't have the LI dice +2 for the caster. Alright, so we're gonna pop one of these. We're gonna pop one of these.
That's what I'm good at. Uh-huh. Rise and shine. Ouch. I don't get it. Yes, I got this. It could be found. What I'm good at. Higher than a bell tower, and even the clouds.
Oh, thank you. I don't know if I have anything on my phone, actually. Everyone is so generous. I'm like, everything I've ever wanted is gone. Like, I'm good. I'm happy.
Billion.
Fucking ow, bro. Piece of shit. If you do one of these. Do one of those, yeah? You do one of those. Wait, no, wait. You do one of those. Pop one of those.
The final demonstration. It could be found.
Pop one of those. Pop one of
Isn't
those.
that? Welcome to the world of numbers. Are you irrational numbers? Are you irrational numbers?
Yippee!
That weren't even as tough as waking up an old factory man.
One of my friends is trying to get me to play Cookie Run Kingdom. Cookie Run Kingdom is objectively cute as shit, and the writing is pretty solid as well. They actually, surprisingly, I shouldn't say surprisingly, but they do, well, I shouldn't say surprisingly, because you wouldn't think of it looking at the character designs, because it's very cutesy, very chibi. But the writing is solid, the characterizations are solid. The monetization is probably one of the most aggressive out of every gacha game I've ever played. I don't want to say the most aggressive, but when you're used to like Hoyoverse games, if you play like Reverse 1999, if you play any of the Hoyoverse games, like there's monetization there obviously, but it's not like in your face. Cookie Run Kingdom and Cookie Run Oven Break, it's in your face all of the fucking time. Their model is entirely FOMO, entirely quote unquote discount based. So like, if you're prone to impulse spending, I would stay the fuck away from it. If super aggressive monetization pisses you off, I would stay away from it. But otherwise, if you're kind of used to that and you can look past it, it's a good time. It's a good time. Wait, if you're a meta chaser, if you like staying on top of the meta and like maybe not being the best at PvP, but like staying at least consistent in PvP, stay the fuck away from Cookie Run Kingdom. Stay the fuck away from Cookie Run Kingdom. Holy shit, that meta is... You want to talk about power creep? Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. If you can get past that though, it's all right. It's fun. I played it for a while, fell off, got back in it again for a little bit, dropped it. Yeah. All I know is the Cookie Gajinka Yaoi being wild. Oh, absolutely. I think Shadow Milk is like the big yaoi pairing right now, right? Because Shadow Milk or not Shadow Milk. Shadow Milk is the cookie. It's with the, what's the fucking pairing called? Because it's Shadow Milk and it's fucking pure vanilla. I don't even remember what the fucking ship is called, but the art goes crazy. They got like fucking Renaissance artists in that fandom, okay? You're like, what fucking series is this from? And you look up the original content and they're fucking cookies, and you're like, what the fuck? I got fucking debated by cookies? The hell is this shit? Actually, Pure Milk. No, is it Pure Milk? Is the name of the ship Pure Milk? That's funny. That's a hoot and a holler. We'll finish this and then we'll raid into
a simple arcane trick.
Bingo.
A moment of utterance.
This book? Oh, don't stare at it for
I thought
too
it
long.
was funny. You know what? It's probably the ship's name.
Great. No mistakes.
Hands off my head.
I heard Sarah K is doing Yuri now. Sarah K has always done Yuri. It's always been Yuri.
This one.
But historically, yaoi's just more popular. So you're probably more exposed to
Oh please, I know how to use it.
Learn from silence.
Time to turn the page.
I've been playing it for a few weeks without my friend knowing, and Gingerbread was a fucking moron, but I kind of love him for it. Yeah, if you can ignore all of the downsides, it's just a lot of the downsides are deal breakers for people. But if you can ignore those points, it's a solid game. There's shit tons of content. They release new things all of the time. There's a million and one different fucking currencies to navigate.
You can do this, Marcus.
There's always something to do. And,
Or this book.
If you're looking to keep busy.
And now it's easier to understand.
The housing system's really fucking cute. I love the housing system. It's adorable.
I can't read it. To read.
I had to recall trying to make a meme. I had to make a quote from that 1999 story. I'm sorry.
You can do
I'm
this,
using
Marcus.
Marcus completely wrong. I don't need anyone to tell me that, okay? I know I'm using her wrong.
I
don't know how to use her. She came home and I'm like, you're fucking cute. And then I killed her. And then I just throw cards at the enemy. I don't know what she does.
Great. No mistakes.
I know she got power crept by a squirrel, though.
Wait.
I know in 2.8, she gets power crept by a squirrel we get for free. So, I know that was a meme for a while. Like how Gingerbread's English VA was Finn and from Humans from Adventure Time. I knew he sounded fun. Oh, that's another thing, too. Cookie Run Kingdom has, like, an insane voice cast. Like, remember the yaoi ship we were talking about with Shadow Milk and Pure Vanilla? Yuri Lowenthal voices Pure Vanilla Cookie. Zhongli's voice actor voices a cookie in there. Robbie Damon has a cookie in there. I really wanted his cookie because he looked really good. And I never got him, and maybe sad.
The flames of injustice are yet to burn.
But yeah, the voice cast is crazy. I mean, where the fuck? What? It's like, what are you doing here? It's very funny. Segi has a cookie. Yes, Segi VA has a cookie. Is he Crunchy Chip Cookie? The guy with the wolf. I have him. I built him, I think. But yeah. I really like Wizard Cookie. I can't remember who his VA is, but Wizard Cookie's VA is one of my favorite in that game, even though he's just like a default cookie, he's not super strong. I love his performance so much. Whenever he was in an event or a new main story update, I'm like, yeah, we get Wizard Cookie! He's so fun. Alright. I think we're right about that time. Let me just make sure that Veg is actually online. Oh, I'm not seeing anything yet. Did he die? Oh wait, no. Oh no, he's live. Okay, perfect. Alright, we're raiding into the main channel. We're gonna play bingo. If you came here from Reverse 1999 and you've never played bingo with us on the main channel, It's our weekly highlight of the channel. It's really, really fun. We play a bunch of shitty games, and you get prizes for it. So yeah, if you want to stick around, it's always a hoot and a holler. I'm a lot louder than I am on this channel usually. Yeah, what's our raid message, folks? The spirit of Borges is in the room. Latin American boom. Bow Hody. Yeah, we can do Bow Hody. Raid. Veggie. BL Tail. Bow Hody. Veg! The fuck? But yes, going into the main channel, we're doing bingo, tomorrow, Monday, and special extra streams on Tuesday and Wednesday. We're gonna be playing Blueprints. Thursday, Friday, we're gonna be doing Chapter 4 of Deltarune. I'm not sure if I'm streaming next weekend, just because we're gonna be streaming all week, so I might take the weekend off. But we'll see, because we still have ZZZ 2.0 and Scene 0 from Muggy, etc., which is actually voiced, to go through, so we have a lot of content. We'll see. But, yeah, if you're not going to join us for Bingo, thank you very, very much for hanging out with me today. If I don't see you next weekend, I'll see you the weekend after, possibly. But yeah, thanks for hanging out. It's always more fun with you guys around. Thank you for, calling the spirit of Borges in the room to help me win my 50-50 for Recoleta. But yeah, we're heading into Bingo now. I'll see you guys later. Love you guys. Bye-bye! It's Bo Hody. Go. Bye. See you. Bye.